edition of Mike in the Night. I hope everybody is doing well out there. I hope everybody is keeping safe out there. So, as a tradition, let me just open this up here real quick. I just got a few windows to open up. It's a surprise edition of Mike in the Night. I get the two shows mixed up. I'm sorry. I bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night to whoever watching this transmission, whether you're watching us in your apartment in the sky, or your box in the sky, or your cabin in the woods. People of the night, welcome to this very special edition of Mike in the Night. There's a lot happening right now, so we need to start to unpacking what's going down, and I'm going to need your help in the comments below. I'm going to need your help in the comments to start sending links, to start connecting with each other. We need people from all over the Commonwealth. We need to start connecting these dots. We've been connecting the dots here on the channel for many years now. And now, the people of our channel, it is now that I have understood. And this news that I bring to you is sad, depressing, but it's something that we need to discuss. So now that the can of worms have been opened, I've been waiting, and I've been in the shadows for a long time, waiting for something to be said and told. And finally, it's going viral. And now, as a citizen or a person of this country, I feel I have the right to unpack. So tonight we're going to be unpacking, and we're going to be unpacking quite a bit of stuff tonight. And we're talking about the Great Reset. We'll be talking about this on Mike in the Night this Saturday. We'll be talking about it on Trends in the Housing Market, where people basically unpacking the Great Reset, so there is an understandability or some sort of understanding of what's going to happen with Agenda 2030, whatever you want to call it. So now that it's been unpacked, they could go ahead and shut the channel down, but that would be unscrupulous, very unfair, without any fairness or morality. And it's like a Machiavellian move. Mistake gets made, we cover or question, then they shut us down or break us down for asking about it. Anyways, okay, we got people starting to roll in the comments section. So this is a very important emergency Mike in the Night show. This is not a replay. So we got a lot of people asking, is this live? No, yes, it is live. No, yeah, it is live, guys. All right, let's get over to Article Scan. This is a very special edition of Mike in the Night. And do you know what? I ran all my chores for the day. I took my daughter skating. I took her to school. I picked her up. I took my son to school, picked him up, spent time with the kids. Did a lot today, lots of chores. And tonight I'm with you guys tonight. And it's something that I can't keep till Saturday from 5-6 days from now. I think, no, Troll Not saying see you on BitChute. Troll Not, BitChute is now deleting channels. Or channels and videos now. BitChute has deleted a few channels, and I'll let you know how I know. Because people have come on YouTube and stated that their BitChute account has been deleted on YouTube, and they posted it on their community section of their channel. So I kind of wanted to put that out there to let you guys know that BitChute is deleting channels now, and they've already deleted 5 channels and growing. So we got BC Matrix saying DLive is the way to go. We'll see what happens with that. Yes, Troll Not saying that is horrible. I know the YouTuber personally. We don't do the same. He doesn't talk about what I'm talking about at all. It's more of a MGTOW thing he talks about. And I contacted him personally on his cell phone, and he was really ripped. He was ripped when he told me. Not ripped drunk, he was livid. Okay, put it that way. Let's put it that way. He was livid. So this is a big deal that's happening. So I'm gonna ask you guys to please start contributing links in the comments or even write out a topic that we should be looking up, because there's just too much moving parts and there's too much happening from every angle. So it's basically, let's say I'm a tower defender. I'm on the top of my tower. I'm a military guy. I'm in military gear. I'm at the top of the tower. I'm defending the small town. So I'm looking out and waiting for enemies to come. But my problem is the enemies have come, but they're coming from behind. They're coming from in front. They're coming from the side. They're coming from the side. There's not enough eyes out there, or I don't have enough eyes to see the whole landscape. And that's why it is very important that we have people across the Commonwealth. Even I have people emailing me from South Africa, people from Jamaica, lots of people on the ground in Jamaica. I spoke to Earl Livingston the other day. He's telling me the amount of economic takeover that's happening in Jamaica right now is phenomenal. Jamaica won't be Jamaica in about 10 years. It would be like a colony of China. We got the Lloyd sent me $3 Canadian. Thank you so much. Fist pump, buddy. Fist pump. Flash 4 Fantasy. Yeah. That's a Billy Idol song, by the way. That's the thing with lemon water. You get seeds in your mouth. Okay. Mike, what is the best and bad part of the old time and say for today for you in comparison? Are we talking about what happened before and what we're heading into right now? Because I could tell you 30 years ago, I was 12 years old 30 years ago. And let me tell you, all you needed was just a part-time job. And that covered your rent, that covered your food and your car insurance. And probably even paid for school too. So we got BC Matrix saying, reporting live from Tennessee. Where are you in Tennessee? Are you outside of Nashville? I've been to Tennessee many times. Google moderators love to watch Mike in the Night, says TJH. Cameron saying, not sure if this website is credited, but it has reports of election fraud from the USA. And I've been holding off on the election fraud and the machines from Dominion. I know what's going on, guys. I'm just waiting for it to start to turn over slowly. And then we'll start reporting on it once the mainstream media has to report on it. And then we'll start unlocking and backtracking and retracing all the mistakes they made and all the mistakes that were made in correlation with this. Because this is a bigger deal, right? SB says, 30 years ago, I was so into Kelly Kapowski and Sega Genesis. Well, yeah, 30 years ago, I had a Nintendo. I had a Super Nintendo. Yeah. We got a Roseberry FH, Wisconsin in the house. Oh, yeah, don't you know it? Dictator Dan from Australia is saying, mass immigration is more frightening than COVID. That's correct. Someone saying, Mike, I was born in 1993. 1993 was the cutoff. 1993 is when that's when they closed. That's a very unique year because 1993 was the year that Canada cut off immigration from Europe. No Europeans allowed anymore. And if they came in, they could stay for a year or two, work, and then go back to Europe. We got Art Trapeja. Hello, Mike. How are you, my brother Art? Thanks for joining us tonight. Genesis was great. I know, guys. Yeah, Sega Genesis. I had Sonic. I had Golden Axe. Streets of Rage. Buddy, I was there with you guys. Believe me. Believe me. Oh, yeah. All right.
Hi.
That is our soundboard today to help, how do you say, smoothen it out today.
Now we're going to do something extremely fun. We're going to play a wonderful game called Who is My Daddy and What Does He Do?
And yeah, we got to kind of lighten up the mood a little bit here. So we got an Arnold Schwarzenegger soundboard for you guys. Don't hate on it. Let's just lighten up the mood a bit. Let us go over to Article Scan. We got people turning on their Skypes now, noticing that we are now online. And hopefully we can get Supreme Cannon's attention to come on. I want him to weigh in on what's going on. Because, guys, I don't even know how to unpack this. This is, I I don't even know how to unpack this. Don't know how to unpack this, but this is becoming a major deal. Okay, let's go over to article scan real quick here. Let's see what we got on the discussion block here. All right, let's do a quick channel plug like we always do, guys. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate just subscribing to the channel. Guys, I'm back again to the old ways of YouTube. Right now, I'm at -3 subscribers for the month. Don't forget to shop. Mike Martin's here if you guys want to pick up a mug. Guys, don't forget to... here, I'm going to put a link to this show. Channel. I'm double live. Just subscribing to the channel. I'm double live there. Let's go back and put this on Facebook and see if we can get more people. Oh my God, what is this? What is this? What are you asking me now for? They keep asking me, Facebook does not want me to be, Facebook does not want me to be a public figure. I have I'm pushing 120,000 people that like me on Facebook, 115. And they just don't want me to be a public figure. I could have 1 million people follow me on here and they'll say that I'm garbage. Here you go. Take that, guys. There's a link right there. Go ahead and like that. Guys, thank you for the show tips. I got a few show tips the other day on Instagram. Instagram is better. I get my messages better. So go ahead and message me on Instagram. Guys, don't forget Art by Dano. We had him on last week. Don't forget to check out Art by Dano if you guys want. I'll leave a link. This guy's amazing. Very affordable prints. Try and get it to you by Christmas time. He'll try his best. All right, guys. Let's rock and roll with Mike of the Night. Okay, guys. Very special. All right, let's get over to the chat here. Let me open this chat a little bit. I can barely see it here. Here we go. Okay. Someone mentioned Double Dragon. Yeah, that was really good. CJ, do you think your kids will be able to afford a house in Canada when they grow up? No. They're already... Canada's moving towards this agenda where nobody owns anything, and it's going to be a situation where it turns into socialism, right? It's going to be Portugal 1910 all over again. In 1910 in Portugal, look what happened. It's the same thing. It's going to happen again. We got Faith says, how can we meet other like-minded people? Faith, I know you know what I did? I'm going to show you guys something I did today. Let me put it on full screen here for you guys to see. I'm walking around with these now. You see this? It plugs into my phone. These are a really nice looking thing. I haven't used these since I was like 7. These are called headphones. I put these on my head and ears when I'm in public so I don't have to hear garbage or what people think they know about what's happening, right? So this way I just completely zone myself out from everybody else around me so I don't have to cringe my teeth or get upset or have an unsettling adjustment increase in my blood pressure. So this way I put it on. I don't even, nobody exists around me. I don't have to hear what people think about the voting in the United States, what's happening here, what's happening there. And yes, you know, Hillary Clinton should just come here and be prime minister or become the president or something because everybody just loves her. Yeah, Faith Thompson, how can we meet other like-minded people? You're going to have to... Faith, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to have, there's obviously going to be like resistance groups that are going to be obviously against what's happening. But a lot of people right now have lost so much, or there's so much behind, or there's so much in debt, or there's so much that they're willing to sign up to whatever is next to kind of save themselves, right? Instead of resetting the economy and flushing out all the crap and letting everybody get a fresh start. You know, and people say, well, Mike, if they restart the economy, your house that you bought 3 years ago or 4 years ago is going to go down in price. That's good. That's what I want. I don't want to make money off I don't want money off my house. I bought my house to raise my kids, so lay roots. I bought my house 2 hours out of the city. Now the prices here have already doubled. 2 hours out of the big city. 2.5. All right, let's go on with the comments here. Phanox is saying, why would you buy a house? You are just renting off the government. That's correct. Phanox is correct because now property taxes are going up, right? VC says, well, the truth hurts them. Yeah, well, people can't handle the truth, right? TJH says, Phanox, that savings account is what a house is. Just for fun, Canada saying the Great Reset explained. What do you think it is? All right, we're going to be talking about this, guys. Okay, we're going to go over the Great Reset. We're going to discuss that. So let's go over to Wikipedia. Wikipedia is not even giving us a good. Let's go to article scan here. There's our great leader. We have to find out now that this is out of the bag. Okay, let's play it here. This is now out of the bag. So now we will unpack this. Now, if YouTube wants to shut us down, or if somebody wants to shut us down because they think we're misguiding people, I contacted my lawyer before I even went live. I contacted him and I told him I'm going live, and if they shut me down because of something that's already been said, I'll have a loss. I don't care. We'll find a way to sue them. I don't care. I will sue them. I don't care. So here it is. It's been unpacked, and now we could discuss what is happening. So
Building back better means getting support to the most vulnerable while maintaining our momentum on reaching the 2030 agenda.
He mentions it here, 2030 agenda.
For sustainable development.
Sustainable development. Now, it's already existed. It's been in print. I've seen the PDF. I think it's 996 pages long. I've seen it, but there's no point in kind of really talking about it because they're just going to say we're extrapolating and misguiding people. Okay, so let's keep going.
And the SDGs.
We're going to look that up too. SG, whatever that is.
Canada is here to listen and to help.
See, if Canada was here to listen, why didn't they stop the money laundering from 2010 forward?
This pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset.
Well, no, it's provided an opportunity for us not to be able to visit the United States, but we could get on a plane and go to China. Something ain't right here.
This is our chance to accelerate our pre-pandemic efforts to reimagine economic systems that actually address global challenges like extreme poverty.
Poverty across Canada is like up tenfold since we've been getting bought out housing wise, since the rents have been increasing and everything. But hold on, take a step back. We got opioids and fentanyl to help that out and even out and smoothen the transition.
Inequality and climate change.
Again, climate change. Climate change today, it snowed. So how do you argue climate change? What is climate change? All right, so that's from the great leader there today on his what do you call this thing? Twitter. This is from a few days. It's from a while back, but now it's building momentum. So now we're allowed to unpack this. We're going to extrapolate it, unpack it, and figure it out. So let's look at what I had it open here. So I'm not getting anything from Wikipedia. This is what I'm getting: the Great Reset, and it's based off of a book. Okay, so I'm getting something else here. So part 1 is the past pro. So it goes over a book. So when we look up the Great Reset. Okay. Oops, the Great Reset. We get, okay, this is the economic form. That's great. But I'm trying to find a Wikipedia or like a encyclopedia definition of what it means. The Great Reset is how new ways of living and working drive post-crash prosperity in a book published. So this is a book published. So this is not, we don't want that. We want to know what the Great Reset, what is the definition of the Great Reset. So let's go on the World Economic Forum. So we believe that this is what he is addressing, okay? So this is what he's addressing. This is what we're guessing that he's addressing, right? Okay. Oh, we got somebody commenting. The Great Reset, this is from Sean Lieberman. The Great Reset is a reset of culture, society, economy. Every aspect of your life will be monitored, tracked and traced, all deemed unsustainable, limited travel, no meat, no rights, technocracy. So I have always problem pronouncing that. So that is from Sean Lieberman, and yes, we know that now we have some sort of a definition on it. Let's see what they say here so we can unwrap this here. There is an urgent need for global stakeholders to cooperate in simultaneously managing direct consequences of the COVID crisis. To improve the state of the World Economic Forum is starting a great reset initiative. So there it is, stage 1. So what is this? Watch again. Oh, this is 47 minutes long.
Reset initiative.
Yeah, we're not seeing that. So the context, the opportunity. So the context. Let's go over the context and find out what the heck this is even about. The COVID crisis, the political, economic, and social disruptions it has caused is fundamentally changing the traditional context for decision making. Wow. The inconsistencies, inequities, and contradictions of multiple systems, from health and financial to energy and education, and more exposed than ever. Amidst the global context of concern for lives, livelihoods, and the planet, leaders find themselves at a historic crossroads, managing the short-term pressure against the medium to long-term uncertainties. So they are, I guess they're at wits' ends to try and figure out what's going on. So, okay, here's the deal, guys. Here's the deal. I told somebody the other day, and somebody commented the other day on the channel, and then I have been telling people this the other day. If you wanna find a cure for COVID, just disconnect your cable. Call your cable company if you're still paying for cable. Say, hi, I would like to disconnect my cable and stop watching mainstream news, and there you go. You found a cure for COVID. Okay, so what is the opportunity? So what's in it for us, right? Remember that whole New World Order, the New World Order that George Walker Bush was preaching about at the UN summit back in, I think it was in 96, 94? No, that was way back in the 80s. That was before the first Iraq war. This was like in the 80s, where George Walker Bush Sr. was there, and he was talking about a New World Order, the law of the land, not the law of the jungle. So they make it seem like everybody wants to be part of this great thing, or everybody wants to have a stake in this, and I want to be part of this. This sounds like a great plan. Well, let's look at the opportunity. So this is all coming back and unraveling from all these decades. As we enter a unique window of opportunity to shape and the recovery, this initiative will offer insights to help inform all those determining the future state of global relations, the direction of national economies, the polarities of societies, the nature of business models, and management of the global commons. So they're discussing this in a specific language to make it seem like it's like a big hierarchy of development and transformation, right? And making it sound like you want to be part of this, right? Drawing from the vision of the vast expertise of the leaders engaged from the forums, communities, the Great Reset Initiative has a set of dimensions to build a new social contract that honors the dignity of every human being. Okay, so people living in countries, let's say like Somalia or something, or say, well, this is going to increase my dignity. This might be better for me. So people in other parts of the world say, hey, I want in on this. This is going to be I want to be part of this. This is like a great deal, right? So I don't know. So let's go. Sean Lieberman is saying they want to drive us all into equal poverty in the name of austerity and sustainability. Everything we need to live, the elitists own, but they will weaponize food and push us in their system. So that was Sean Lieberman. Anything that's good on Netflix is found on torrents easily anyway. That's correct. Sorry, guys. I had to wet my beak there.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
We got Arnold Schwarzenegger here with us tonight to lighten up the mood a bit. So RT, everybody is reporting on this today. The cat's out of the bag. Now what? So let's start disassembling this. They've already gone out and now made a video about it. Now it's our turn to discuss it. And I hope YouTube understands that we're making this video because it's plain as day and plain in sight now. Great Reset trends Twitter after Trudeau's speech on COVID. Hints it's not just a conspiracy theory. It's the real thing. So there it is again. We went over this here. Here it is. Here's the trend here, where it's gone. Look at this. It's gone full blast, and it's just taken off. And now that's from it's just taken off, and people are starting to wake up to this. That, hey, this might be a bigger deal than we were thinking for the longest time. Prince Charles is part of this too. I've seen him many times discuss this. Sees a golden opportunity in COVID as UK economy braces for the biggest recession in centuries. So they're pushing and they're pushing. So this is going to be an interesting turn of events we're going to have. Now watch this article from, it was updated in April of 2020. Listen to this. Without urgent action, 500 million will be pushed into poverty, report warns. So there it goes right there. There around 500 million people could be pushed into poverty. So these are not the people already in poverty. They're talking about the 500 million people on Earth right now that are not in poverty. And that's about how many people on Earth right now that are living within the poverty line, about 500 million. And now that 500 million is going to go into poverty. So London, so this is from London saying around 500 million people could be pushed into poverty as a result of the economic fallout from COVID. Again, this is phenomenal. What they're just throwing this out there for us to look at. COVID. This is from the World Economic Forum. Now this is from a paid for privatized forum out there. So there it is. The 4 building blocks of the Great Reset. So we're going to go over that and discuss what are the building blocks, what is this supposed to mean, what does it mean for us? And then we try to go to the Bank of Canada to give us a Great Reset. So the Great Reset, so what happened was it was a presentation that was delivered by a speaker in Victoria, British Columbia on August 20, 2020. I'm trying to figure out, there it is, the Great Reset, and this is what the speaker was discussing, and this is a short PDF that explains basically what they're, maybe let's look over the key points here real quick. The Great Reset, supporting the transition to a greener, smarter economy, the pandemic, central banks, and climate change. So they're kind of rephrasing it to kind of set its terms for what is happening right now. So the COVID is a shock and an opportunity, pivot to a greener, smarter economy, focus here on climate-related issues, our contributions to scenario analysis. To start, here we view climate change at risk. So again, we know the deal with climate change here, so don't worry. Look, we know here. So if you're just tuning in for the first time, don't panic. We know what's going on with it. So physical damage and destruction caused by extreme weather and high temperatures. There's no way that we could start and stop this. A majority of the damage that is caused or that comes in by weather change or climate or anything is from volcanoes. Volcanoes put more spew, ash, and soot in our ionosphere than two really good volcanoes puts more crap in our ionosphere or in our ozone than we do as humans in 100 years. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up. Then transitions at risk, costs involved to move towards a low carbon economy. No one's doing this. The only country that has done this is Portugal. They're the only country to go 4 days off grid, on renewable energy. That's the only country that's doing anything about this green thing, right? And they're still making it seem like we're so far away from this plan. And then different roles in facilitating a transition, governments setting environmental policy, corporate sector investing in technology, households shifting preferences / behavior. Households shifting preferences, behavior. Oh yeah, behavior.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Financial sector, financing transition. Central banks smoothing the transition to ensure the financial system is up to the challenge. Maintaining economic activity close to capacity. So basically deleveraging and basically lending or putting everything to the limit, right? Remember, Canada's economy is based off, 80% of Canada's economy is based off housing. The people that live in Canada can't afford to buy housing. So what do? They export homes. They don't put them on a boat and ship them. They just get foreign people to buy the homes. And that's what our economy has been off the last 4, 5, 6, maybe 8 years now here. To understand the potential economic effects. Scenario analysis, a useful tool given to uncertainty. Scenario analysis describes a plausible future pathways. It is not what will occur, but what could occur. Useful given the high degree of uncertainty related to climate change, policy, technological development, and evolving consumer and investor preferences. Scenario analysis framework. So the transition risk factors: climate policy, technology, consumer, market sentiment. Then it goes to climate economy modeling. Then it goes into macroeconomic impacts, sectoral impacts, and stranded assets, right? So when you start seeing people default, you're going to start to see stranded assets in limbo. Because I'll give you an example of a stranded asset. You default on your home. It takes about 180 days to a year for them to evict you from your house. That's a stranded asset, right? That's what I was told a stranded asset was when I was in finance. Sectoral impacts, again, it could be commodity sector, it could be the housing sector, it could be goods and services. And then macroeconomic impacts deals with more of the government debt, more of a debt in bonds, and of the banking sector structure, okay, deregulation of the banking systems too. And then financial risk assessment, credit risk, market risk, liquidity risk, counterparty risk, and sovereign risk. This is a very important one because this is what's going to drive people to not owning anything or not being able to own any assets anymore because of this risk assessment right here. And then outcomes, credit impacts, and market impacts. And delayed action leads to disorderly adjustment. So here it is. So they're going over this disorderly, this is CO2 equivalent to emissions. So this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to get us off emissions. I don't know what's going to happen to all the trees because we have a lot of trees on Earth. We have more trees today than we had 100 years ago. You could look it up. And I don't know what's going to happen. You're going to see trees hollowing out because there's not enough carbon in the air for the trees to breathe. So you're going to see a lot of trees just hollow out and just sit there idle and fall off or fall to the side. Because I know this sounds exaggerated, but that's usually what happens when there's not enough carbon in the atmosphere for the trees to breathe. They start to hollow out. How to quantify macroeconomic and structural impacts. So there's the near Paris action and no action. So they're indexing this to make it look like it's catastrophic. And large structural shifts could occur across the sectors. So wind and solar. So this is what they're trying to do. They're breaking it down by biomass, hydro, natural gas, and coal, and then going from wind, solar, nuclear, and oil, and showing the different usage of terawatt hours when it comes to consumption of power. So here it is. It's a multi-year process. Time to build an in-house expertise and tools to address the data gaps. So they're pushing fast. COVI as a disruptor that offers new insights on climate change. An example of the structural shock with a broad impact worldwide. If you knew 30 years ago that COVI was coming, how would you prepare? How would you prepare? That's the question. Preparation can reduce risk, structural changes as we pivot to greener, smarter energy economy. Opportunity to employ scenario analysis. I beg to differ on that last part right there, but that's okay. So the Great Reset. What the heck is going on? Where are we headed with this? Let's see who we got here. Okay, let's see. Let's go head over to the comments and see what we got. We got Troll Not. Okay, let's see where we go here. Okay, Troll Not. Yeah, how much does that volcano owe in for carbon footprints? Yeah, you guys have no idea. Like when that Mount St. Helens erupted in 81, 82, way back in the day over here in Washington State, That left so much soot and ash in our ionosphere that we still have particles of it in 2020 right now in our from that volcano. We still have particles of it floating around. That's how big it was, right? And that's how much of an impact. That thing set us back like 50 years when it comes to like, it actually is a good thing so the sun doesn't project so strong, kind of blackens out the sun a bit in a way where it's not so strong. I don't know. I'm just looking for the positives of it. Then we got fakeologists in the come. You bet, Sean. And someone else comes in and says, Mike, Google Bill Gates death panels. It's from 10. Yeah, no, that's been going on. Look, Bill Gates, his father, his grandfather, they've been part of this eugenics thing for years. This is old news. This has been a eugenics thing. These panels and telling hospitals what they're allowed to do and who's allowed to die, who's allowed to live. That's crazy, dude. When did Klaus Schwab become the king of the world? I have no idea who voted him. I don't even know who he is, but a lot of people are being, I guess, put into place. Guys, can you guys please share this video live right now? This is the channel right now is in a reduction, is going through a reduction time, and I'm going to explain to you what that means. Right now, from the last 5 to 10 days, I got no subscribers. I got -3 subscribers. So every year or so, YouTube unlocks my channel for about a week. I get 1,000 subs, and then it's going to sit at 13,000 subscribers now for another 2 years. I was at 12,200 subscribers for about 2.5 years. Now they're gonna they opened it up. I got a week open. I got another 1,000 subscribers. Then they suppressed it back again. It happens all the time. Every year they open it a little bit, let some air out, and then it goes back to zero. I only lose subscribers going forward. I don't gain any going forward. So that's. I think that's kind of good because the channel becomes kind of like in a way where they don't even care what we're talking about here because they have us on lockdown, which is kind of good. Nice big comment on it. It's the way. Oh yeah, great. Then testing kits from China, and if you don't do more than one test, it's not accurate. If the government really worried about COVID, they should suggest to stop all flights. Oh, no, you can't stop flights from China. You can't do that. Construction is essential in Canada. Construction is essential business. We export homes in Canada. We cannot close flights from China. What are you out of your mind? China hasn't had a case in like 5-6 months now. We need the economy to keep going. We need to depend on foreign rich investors. We don't create jobs here anymore. Oh, Aberfield saying Trudeau's going to spend so much taxpayer money before it's discovered that Canada has a debt crisis. Okay, here's the deal with that. Canada does have a debt crisis. We know Canada has a debt crisis. And we uncovered a few days ago that Canada has 80% of its economy is based off housing. 80%. 80. Not 8. I bet you if you go back to 1981, it's like 28%. Of how the economy was based off, maybe less, maybe in the teens, was based off housing. Remember, interest rates in 1981 were at 16%. You can't build much of an economy on 16% interest rates, right? Andrew Diak saying, is Canada's a Chinese colony? That's correct. We sold our major gold mines, coal mines, most of our water. It's piece by piece. We're dismantling this country piece by piece. Sean Lieberman saying masks are a form of Pavlovian conditioning, dehumanizes, breaks you, exhausts you, was actually a CIA torture tactic and was used on slaves frequently in the past, turned people into Stockholm victims. Yes, Aberfield saying there has been no federal budget in 19 months. That's correct. Yeah, Wade, the scrapper, saying that China and the IMF now own Canada. So what's going to happen? What's the idea of Canada? Where is it going to go? What does that mean? After reading some of these articles here and going over what's going on, the cat's out of the bag now. So this is open discussion. Our great leader unpacked it. Right here, our great leader unpacked it. Now, it's open discussion now. YouTube can't come in here and delete me. YouTube, there's no, because it's unscrupulous, without any proper political moralities, because it's out. I even spoke to my lawyer. I even told, look, I want to do a feed. I want to talk about this. Go ahead, because it's already out. It's in public. Now unpack all you want to unpack. We got Blunt News asking if this is live. It sure is. Okay, so let's go back over what our great leader is saying here.
Building back better means getting support to the most vulnerable while maintaining our momentum on reaching the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the SDGs. Canada is here to listen and to help. This pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset.
The reset.
This is our chance to accelerate our pre-pandemic efforts to reimagine economic systems that actually address global challenges like extreme poverty, inequality, and climate change.
Climate change is always going to be there.
Building back better.
So this is a big deal. Now that the cat's out of the bag, let's talk about it. It's right there. And I could bet you guys 100 to 1 odds that basically a lot of people in different levels of government are really upset about this transmission. I'll bet you 100 to 1. Now it's open field now. It's open season. I could picture a lot of world leaders saying, "What? He shouldn't have worded it like that." Well, now it's open for debate. Okay, let's keep going here. All right, who is in the comments here? We got Andre Diak saying Canada is here to obey and turn into a communist utopia. That's correct. Canada is always the first and foremost, like the shining light of the rest of the world on how America's backwards. It's backwards, trying to fight for its constitution, fight for its people, keep its First and Second Amendments, keep its Fifth Amendment, Fourth Amendment, keep everything intact that the Founding Fathers found, or if the Founding Fathers created. And a lot of people don't understand. The Founding Fathers were creating treason. The Founding Fathers of the United States of America, or the Confederate States, or whatever you want to call it, or the Commonwealth of America at the time, were creating high treason against England, right? They went against England. They created a constitution, a Bill of Rights. They created all of the framework that's necessary to run, elect, dismiss, create governments, whatever is. So they made it very clear that there's no king in America. There will never be a king. Even though after George Washington was president, when he was announced or became president, they asked George Washington if he wanted to become king we'll make you king. And you know what he said? He kindly refused and says, no, we have a democracy and we need to vote. We need to vote to be able to select our leaders. And that's true transparency right there. They asked her, hey, you want to be the king for a while until you die and run America? No. We're going to be voting. Okay, who else is in the comments here? Mike Banks, I guarantee you no rest will ever benefit anyone but the elites to further their global agendas. That's correct. Papa Piss is saying Monday, Mike. Oh, there's a very special edition here tonight. I got all my chores out of the way. Took care of everything around the house. Yeah, SDGs. SDGs. We're going to look that up. SDGs. BC in the Matrix saying SDGs. We got VMan293 said Canada is a leading indicator for the U.S. Yeah, AOC, occasional cortex. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, that's very dangerous. Just for fun, Canada, how much a year is extreme poverty? And then we're gonna roll down the comments here. Reimagine economic systems, ergo in the middle class and its aspirations have to go. The first step is Metro Vancouver's coming road tolls. Yeah, that's coming in. Taxes and They are calling They're calling for road pricing. You know what they're also asking for, guys? They want to start creating exit applications. If you want to leave your city, this is what I heard. Okay, you would go online. You would go to a form by the government. You would pay your $16.95 or $22. You would fill it out. You would print it out, fill it out, and have it ready in case you get pulled over. So if you leave the city and you don't have your paperwork, you'll be punished. So basically, where you're going, how long you're going to stay in the other city, what you're going to be doing there, and that's something that they are looking forward to do, or looking forward to get accomplished. That is very dangerous. Okay.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
That's Arnold Schwarzenegger today on our, don't hate on it. Just, ease off. Let's just kind of breathe a bit and kind of discuss what's happening here. Let me get Supreme Canyon to turn on his Skype. Let's see if he picks up. I don't think he's going to pick up his Skype because he knows I'm not live. He knows I'm not supposed to be live right now. He knows I'm not supposed to be live. He knows I'm not live, so I don't think anyone... I'm trying to see who's got their Skypes on. Let's see if Raven could turn on his phone. Oh, it's ringing. Let's see if he picks up. He never picks up his phone anymore. Come on, pick up, Raven. Come on, pick up the phone. So they got AOC, people saying AOC talking about camps and rounding up people. Yes, she discussed it on a tweet a few days ago. She was talking about, in a tweet, AOC made a tweet basically that people who are Trump supporters or voted for Trump or work for Trump should be, lists should be made of them and cancel them so they could never be able to work and feed their families because they went in an election and voted for somebody they felt might do the job or might do a better job, and people are getting punished for that, and that is very disgusting, degrading, and again, unscrupulous with poor political morality. So see if we could get somebody on that we haven't had on last week just to make a little bit of a difference here. There's really nobody on right now. I'm just trying to see who's on here, who could come on. It looks like Professor X. Yeah, someone says AOC is nuts. Yeah, 100%. Let me see if I can get Professor X. I can't get him on. I can't get him on the phone. He never answers his. He never has a Skype. Either Skype is not on or he doesn't answer it. Let's see if he picks it up. Let's get Professor X on the phone. Find out what's going on. Sorry about the ringing, guys. He's not picking up either. Okay, no big deal. It's hard to get a hold of people. Everybody is doing something or they're tied up doing something. Don't forget Comrade Jacinta. Yeah, Jacinta Ardern down in New Zealand. And then that goes back to the bond buying in New Zealand. You type any country, okay? Let's go to article scan. You type in any country. Watch this. New Zealand. You type in New Zealand bond buying. Boom. Look at all this. So let's go to news. See? New Zealand at risk. So every English-speaking country. Japanification. This is what we covered on trends in the housing market. Japanification stocks New Zealand debt. That's 37% owned by the Royal Bank of New Zealand. Right? So there it is. Reserve Bank of New Zealand. I'm sorry. So there it is right there. So they jumped from 6% to 37% of ownership, which is very dangerous, and buying back bonds, or look at that, buying back debt and printing off money to buy it, to pay for it, is absolute disastrousness. And that's what's happening across. Here, watch. Type in Australia. Bond buying. They're making it seem like it's a good program. Yeah. Quantitative easing, here it is. RBA has begun quantitative easing. What is it and how does it work? So it's a bond buying program that they have. And what are they trying to achieve? They're obviously buying by. So they have to talk around it to explain how they're using buying back debt. Government bond purchases. The scale of Australia bond purchasing buying spree is closing in on them. So this is a big deal. The scale of Australia's bond buying spree is closing in on the feds. So there it is right there. The plan to buy $100 billion, the $71.9 billion in US dollars in bonds over 6 months kicks off the RBA announcing it will purchase $2 billion of federal government securities. Again, it's buying back debt. And that's all they're doing. You type in any country, Australia, UK, bond buying program. Yep, quantitative easing, Bank of England. Bank of England boosts bond buying, £100 billion. So there it is. Bank of England boosts bond buying by £100 billion. But look at that. It's happening everywhere. Canada. Corporate bond purchases. Let's go into news. Look, Bank of Canada exceeds mortgage program that inflated prices. Canadian household debt passes the GDP by over 254,000 mortgages. So there it is. More bonds. Bond purchases. Look, America, United States of America, USA, bond buying program. Here we go. Fed to boost monetary stimulus efforts of COVID cases. So again, in the name of COVID, this is from 4 hours ago. Here's the Fed and more aggressive with monetary stimulus efforts as the virus cases spike, according to JP Morgan. So there it is, guys. So what are the takeaways from this? The Federal Reserve will extend its monetary maturity of its $80 billion per month purchase of treasuries in December to further support the U.S. economy. The central bank has kept its policy stance the same for months. Buying longer dated treasuries throughout its asset purchase program would place greater pressure on long-term rates. So they're going to have to go negative. We're going to go negative, people. I see the negativity. The Fed's asset purchase program are among the more flexible tools at its disposal. No, the most flexible tool at its disposal should be raising interest rates and resetting this stupid mistake, this stupid crap, this Frankenstein monster we've created. So all the English-speaking countries have all these big bond buying programs. And basically buying back debt. So imagine, let's articulate a bit on this. You get your credit card bill in the mail. It arrives. You look at it and saying, holy crap, interest rates high on this. I got to pay off this debt. So what do? You go to your printer and print off money and go pay off your credit card. That's exactly what the federal government is doing. That's what the governments across every English-speaking country is doing in full blast. They're just buying back their debt basically with funny money. And it's basically like here's my Visa. Oh, here's my gas bill. I'm just going to go print off some money and take it to the bank and pay off my bills. You can't do that. You cannot do that. The government could. Governments could do this, right? And again, after massive banking deregulations, yes, it is possible because banks are now basically have an open window to do what they need to do. So Aberfield saying, how sick is this? A unique window of opportunity to shape the priorities in societies. So there's one here of the Great Reset. Let me see if I could cut and paste this from the chat. Somebody just sent me an Oh, yeah, we went over this at the beginning. We actually read this thing at the beginning, Aberfield. We actually read this entire thing at the beginning of the show. So that link is we already read that. Banks would have to all start dropping high hundreds of millions to raise the BTC price. Okay, so people are talking about Bitcoin. Wade the Scrapper says, let's push equality. We will tell everyone that everyone starts middle class, when in reality we will destroy the middle class and the lower class will get flooded, creating a new middle class. And when the reality it's what is happening basically. Andrea is saying Western society has no real economy. We print money and buy everything from China. And that's what's been happening. A lot of people, an economist, like a true, real economist, the other day, a few weeks ago, asked me, Mike, what do you think America's #1 export is? And I said, inflation. The #1 thing America exports is inflation. They print money to buy their assets and buy their commodities. It's with inflation, right? So we are trying to get somebody on the phone. This is a unscheduled Mike in the Night. I kind of wanted to throw this out there. Our great leader here is...
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
All right, our great leader had a message here.
Building back better means getting support to the most vulnerable while maintaining our momentum on reaching the 2030 agenda.
2030 agenda is out of the bag. It's right here. It's been talked about before. But this is the first real time that mainstream media has picked up on it, and it's trending. Now that it's out of the bag, it's an open window for us to talk. This just opened it for open discussion, and we could unpack this. I don't care what the streaming platforms think or what we're talking about anymore, because now it's been unpacked right here in front of us.
Who is your daddy, and what does he do?
For sustainable development and the SDGs. Canada is here to listen and to help. This pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset. This is our chance to accelerate our pre-pandemic efforts.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
That actually address global challenges like extreme poverty, inequality, and...
All right. So there it is. We went over this earlier. I read the story earlier today. I thought it was a good idea that we do a live stream on this because this is a really, really big deal. I don't understand. I don't even know how to address this. Guys, our channel here, this channel that you're on, is going back into hibernation mode. So I kind of want to give you guys an upside or an uptick or an update on what's happening with the channel. So the channel is going to go back into discretionary mode. It's going to sit at its subscriber count for another 2.5 years. So it looks like the channel might be in the clear if we don't swear and we keep it kind of like, we could talk about this situation now because now it's out of the bag. It's out there for discussion now. I waited very calmly. Same thing with the voting machines in the States. Same thing with the ballot counts. I'm waiting for something to get out of the bag from the mainstream or from the horse's mouth, and then we're allowed to kind of go forward and discuss it, right? So Blunt News is saying, go on the UN website and read it. That's our future, the secret to making money over the next 10 years. You're welcome. See, Blunt News has very good information. Very, very, very good information. I mean, who could we get on there? There's nobody active right now. I guess everyone's still at work. What time is it? 6 p.m. That's 6, 7. That's 9 p.m. in the East Coast. And everybody is away. Let me see who we got here. Okay, let me see if I can message this person. Sorry for that awkward yawn. Been talking for an hour straight here, pretty much. Okay. So this is the deal, guys. So let's get to more comments here. Go on the UN website. All right, let's look up the UN website and what's going on. The cat's out of the bag. All right, the United Nations. All right, what is it? Respect, acceptable, appreciation, diversity of our world's cultures. Article scan. So this is the United Nations website here, front and center. UN committed to strengthening tolerance, by fostering a mutual understanding among cultures and people. So I'm not sure what we know what the deal is here, but let's keep going. No time for complacency as COVID cases surge. Climate change calls for great leap toward carbon neutrality. And WHO rolls out a plan to rid the world of cervical cancer, saving millions of lives. So here it is. You can get an app for your phone so they can monitor you and they could follow you around and find out what you're doing. And there's their drones, poverty reduction, reimagining life post-pandemic world, agriculture risk management towards long-term resilience, what you need to know about stillbirths, Honduras lose critical health services after hurricane, promoting lasting peace through innovative learning. So basically, innovatively, we could all be hooked up to one system. So this speech is basically making its rounds on social media, and it's getting bigger. And RT's reporting on it. Everyone's reporting on it today. It was done. When the hell was this thing? November. It was November 15th. So it's picking up a lot of steam. And now that the cat's out of the bag, hey, it's open for discussion. So we're not going to argue this with YouTube or the platforms, and we're not supposed to be talking about these sensitive issues. Yeah, we are, because the great leader of Canada let it out of the bag. And now it's open for interpretation. And if we can't assemble peacefully here on this channel and unpack this for interpretation, then we're in a heap of trouble. We're in a massive heap of trouble, my friends.
Climate change. Building back better means getting support to the most vulnerable while maintaining our momentum.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Sustainable development and the SDGs. Canada is here to listen and to help. This pandemic has provided
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
This is our chance to accelerate our pre-pandemic efforts to reimagine economic systems that actually address global challenges like extreme poverty, inequality, and climate change. Building back
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
While
Wait, I gotta shut that off before I get a headache. Okay, so we got Craig Cook just brought up a really good comment. They're moving fast on this. Yeah, Craig Cook is right on the money. They are now moving fast. Oh, they're moving fast. Oh, yeah, but then what's in store for us? Oh, okay, who could we get on the channel here? Who's alive out there? Who's alive and well out there? Let me see who's out there. Okay, he sent me the... Okay, Blunt News sent me an article. Oops. Okay, let me open the link. Blunt News sent me... Transforming the World, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. How many? Is this like 1,000 pages? Transforming... Okay, let's go over the chapters here. Chapter 1, Preamble. Chapter 2, People, Planets, Prosperity, Peace, Partnership. Declaration. Introduction, our vision, our shared principles and commitments, our world today, the new agenda. The means of implementation. Ooh, let's go to page 12. The means of implementation. La manera de implementación. Okay, page 12. How do I know what page I'm on? Doesn't even tell the page numbers. Oh, Article 12. We refrain from what is this, Article 12 or page? It's not giving me a page number on this damn thing. Is it Article 12 or page 12? Sustainable Development Goals. End poverty in all its forms everywhere. Wow. That's huge. But there's always going to be poverty, right? Who's going to make... I'm not trying to be rude here, but who's going to make our stuff, right? Or who's going to, because we've exported all our jobs, we don't make enough money. That was clever. The people up top are very clever. Hey, let's, inflate the currency. Don't move the currency much. make people think they're making more, but realistically they're not. Let's ship their jobs away. And then now they're in a position where we can't build local anymore because no one could afford to pay anyone locally and no one could afford to sell anything locally. We got Morgan Davies in the house. BC Matrix is asking, what page covers money laundering? Oh, no. We need money laundering, so we wouldn't be in this tight recession right now. Where like it's held off a good 10 years of the recession that we should have been in. This money laundering has helped Canadians, impoverish Canadians, and push many tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of Canadians across Canada into poverty. All right. Okay, so end poverty in all its forms everywhere. Wow. That's huge. Para terminar, pobreza en todas las partes del mundo. I mean, I could translate this thing in 5 languages. Number 2, end hunger, achieve food security and improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture. Okay. Looks like someone's trying to message me here. Nope. Number 3, ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. What makes these guys think that we're not trying to do this already? What makes them think that we want more poverty? What makes them think that this is the what? Like it doesn't make any sense.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Okay, Craig Cook is goal 15. Okay, goal 15. Protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems. Sustainability, manage forests, combat desertification, and halt and reserve land degradation, and halt biodiversity loss. But that's only situational, right? We're seeing China deforest Mozambique, right? It's in Portuguese. The thing is, it's in Portuguese though. I'm close to two chamber board members in Portuguese Africa, very close, and they've been sending me news of the deforestation that's happening in Portuguese Africa. And it's a major, major, major deal that's happening there. I'm going to see if I could find it. I made an article about it because it's very situational how this works. If it's China doing it, they get the green light, I guess. But if me or you try to open a private logging company and get to it, we can't do that. And that's what this is going to be put in place for us to stop us from creating something. So let's just say, Craig Cook says means like less farming. Yes. Okay. Let me see if I can find that article that was sent to me. And this has been happening for many, yeah, here it is. So this has been happening for many, many years. Now, let me go over to article scan. Here it is. Madeiras de Moçambique revoltados com as autoridades. So circumstances there and what's happening right now and the deforestation of an entire country is phenomenal. And Mozambique has issued this to world leaders and people. The audio's in Portuguese, so.
Estudo da Agência de Investigação Ambiental, uma organização não governamental inglesa, denuncia a exploração ilegal de madeira por chineses com conivência de altos quadros do governo de Moçambique.
So this is in Portuguese, from Portuguese Africa. They speak perfect Portuguese in Africa. And that right there is just letting you know, 1, they speak perfect, and 2, the mass deforestation, and he mentions China.
Estudo da Agência de Investigação Ambiental, uma organização não governamental inglesa, denuncia a exploração ilegal de madeira por chineses.
Illegal exploration of wood.
Denuncia a exploração ilegal de madeira por chineses.
Madeira is wood by Chinese. So illegal exportation. But the problem is, we go forward with something like this, and hey, look what's happening there. They're taking several 100-year-old trees. Look how big those trees are. And guess what they're doing to them? They are sending them back to China, and the locals that live in those areas get $0 for it, and a couple of government municipal leaders get their pockets greased, or get their palms greased, right? While the local population suffers, right? So we got Clay saying, wow, Africa's owned by China after taking significant loans. Yeah, that's correct. So people send me this information from I got something from Angola that was sent to me. And I can't even talk about it to you guys, what's happening in Portuguese Africa. I can't even discuss what's happening there with our CCP friends. I can't. They'll probably come to my house and take me away. I'm not even making this up. Right? China is trying to pass a law. China is trying to pass, I'm going to look this up so you guys can see. China is trying to pass an international law where basically they could come into Canada and take me away and then send me to China to actually persecute me in China if I've broken any Chinese laws. I've broken a quadrillion Chinese laws here, exposing and discussing what's happening. So I'm basically an enemy of their state. They would have to come and take me to China, and the Canadian government would be like, yeah, go and take him. It's okay. We don't care about him. Okay. So let's go. Who's your daddy?
Maintaining our momentum on reaching the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development.
Who is your daddy, and what does he do?
Canada's here to listen and to help. This pandemic has provided an opportunity.
Who is your daddy, and what does he do?
To accelerate our pre-pandemic efforts.
All right, let's turn that off before my head blows up. All right, let's get, where's Sean Liemerman? Is he here? I just saw him in the comments. Oh, here he is. Let's see if he picks up his phone. Sean, you don't have to show your face. You could just talk. Hello, Sean. Buenas tardes. ¿Cómo estás?
Bear with me. Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I just watching your show at the same time, so it.
Good. It's so good to hear from you. So, okay, just so we could actually put some sort of what do you call it when there's an advisory? What do you call that when there's some sort of an advisory so people understand? Like what do you call that?
You mean like a viewer discretion?
Yeah, viewer discretion. What we are talking or going forward is disallowed to be discussed on this platform, but our local government let the cat out of the bag. Now it's open for interpretation. So if someone from YouTube is reviewing this video to flag it or take it down, we have the right to assemble and discuss what our great leader said on social media and what's trending. Okay, go ahead, Sean.
Sure. I mean, that'd be great if they recognize that, right? But it just seems like even if you don't even break the terms of service on YouTube, it doesn't seem to matter. Mm-hmm. And some people just outright get banned, no warning, no nothing, like on the account level. People are getting banned, not just because they're creating YouTube content or content elsewhere. Their bank accounts are getting banned, their PayPal's being blocked, their Patreon.
The PayPal's getting shut down. Yeah.
And this is kind of like we haven't seen anything yet in terms of the censorship and them instituting diktats that allow the authorities to arrest you simply for saying something that they don't agree with.
Well, this is kind of bizarro, but with this new world unification, blah, 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 and sharing of information type of thing, do you know in China, they could actually propose to the Canadian, well, whatever is in Canada, I don't even know if we have a governance here, that I'm considered a criminal and an enemy of their state for exposing or discussing certain things, and they could come and get me here and send me to China and put me into trial. You know that, right?
Well, and they'd want to too, because you're pulling off their mask, and the one thing that they don't like is losing face.
Did you see that article, the last article I put up from Mozambique, how the Chinese are deforesting it?
Well, like, I mean, I'm not surprised because they've
Like
been
the
doing that
entire country is
elsewhere.
being deforested. I spoke again to two Chamber of Commerce members that are really close to the President Philip Nasi, who's the president of Mozambique, and he's a conservative Catholic. They're all Catholics there in Mozambique because that was colonized by the Portuguese. But they keep sending me information. I got information that I might share to you privately, Sean, from Angola. You're gonna look at it and you're gonna call me and you're gonna tell me what am I looking at, because it's pretty bad. And it's getting really off the hook, and I'm not sure what's going to happen, where, and when. So let's discuss this project reset that our great leader. So,
Oh yeah, Schwab, our unelected supreme leader of the planet Earth.
our great leader, yes.
Yeah, so I mean, it's called the Great Reset, or it's also termed the Fourth Industrial Revolution, which Klaus Schwab wrote a book about, I think, a couple years ago, and how coincidental that all these solutions to combat the virus just roll into the SDGs. And the SDGs are basically like they have to sell it to you, and they have to sell it to you, so they put all these nice sounding words and stuff in it, and then notice like 15, for example, what they really mean by, I think it's 15 with the forests and protected lands. Basically, there'll be non-human habitat zones. Like they want to sort of isolate everybody into concentrated areas, because if you could do that, you could get more control over people. And also, I think what they're going to do is they're driving people out of the cities. And I think they're going to, do a complete overhaul of the cities, turn them into smart cities, and then start getting people back in.
Let me interject real quick, Sean, please. The cities are turning into empty shells. Melbourne, Australia, I got an email from a project director from the University of Melbourne, like one of the big universities there, like university in Melbourne. I'm not sure what the name was, but he sent me an email saying that the mass exodus is a lot worse than they're making it to be. People are going to leave Melbourne. It's going to turn into an empty shell in about a year and a half.
In regards to the big cities, so what that exodus, what that is there's a book that I referred a few months ago called Technocracy and the Hard Road to New Order, and that's a book written by Patrick M. Wood.
Right.
And if you don't feel like reading the book, I mean, I think on BitChute or other media, there's interviews of him sort of explaining how the smart cities are going to work, how they're implementing all of this. And one of the key elements is public-private partnerships, in which I think the corporations will get a further foothold on the cities and update the infrastructure and own the city basically for pennies on the dollar, because like you see all these places getting trashed, property value going down, taxes remaining. Like New York, for example, is never going to be the same as it was, because you have all these rich people moving out of New York because they want freedom. I mean, you look at like somebody like Joe Rogan, who left California. Why? Because he wanted more freedom and he didn't want to get destroyed in taxes. So you have the taxes remaining the same, and you have all these rich people that basically pay for most of the infrastructure vacating. And even if some people come back, it's going to be too far gone. They won't be able to sustain all the costs and stuff that previously they would be able to afford to pay or want to pay. And I guess all these other people in New York kind of get stuck.
Well, hold on. Let's take this another step back. If people if these cities are turning into empty shells, okay, a lot of them obviously with a lot of money poured into them, creating artificial shortages, making homeowners wealthy on paper, and basically pushing out and putting other locals into poverty because rents go up, taxes go up, so people leave these cities. But what's the point of a smart city, Sean, if no one's living in it?
Well, it's a process. Like they need to First of all, they have to have sort of more dominance, I think, over the cities and buy up more property so they could do all these little things that they want to do, and set up the infrastructure toward the Build Back Better kind of model. And then they're going to start forcing people back into the cities one way or another. And a big part of that, I think, is going to be the property taxes. The property taxes are just going to go up exponentially, and they stay the same whether you make 50,000, 100,000, a million a year. If you lose your six-figure job or whatever, well, you're still paying who knows how much a year. I mean, so there's some states I think in the U.S. that are paying like 15,000 a year for property tax.
Oh, that's nothing. Oh,
like New
sweet
Jersey and stuff.
No,
New
Sean, that's
Jersey's-
nothing. We covered those states. We covered Illinois. We covered all the increase in taxes. Listen to this. There was that one restaurant that one we covered on Trends in the Housing Market of this guy that had a little space on Main Street there in Vancouver. His property tax went up to $8,800 per month. Okay. Then we had I'm not making this up, and he's trying to charge $16,800 a month for rent to try and cover his. It's a little studio, and you would. It's on Trends in the Housing. We covered it. Then we covered another one in Toronto, where the property tax went from a restaurant. They're paying $223,000 a year. And if you look at their restaurant, there's no second story, there's no rentals. It's just a restaurant in Toronto. $223,000 a year. And he's saying he's ready to close up shop. He can't make ends meet. So
well, it's going to get worse too, because like the you're still paying rent and all the commercial rent, and you're still paying for utilities, employees. You can't keep shutting things down, and this is intentional. They want to kill small, medium-sized businesses.
Wipe out the middle class.
Wipe out the middle class, and not only that, they're going to weaponize food. They're going to obviously they're going to weaponize food.
Well, they could weaponize it through different levels, from shortages, creating false shortages. They could create overabundances in specific things to force us to eat specific foods, right? Oh, there's so much corn out there. Let's start eating this stuff now, because now it's going to help other people in other countries sell their food, and they could live prosperous, right? And this intercommunicational thing, you know what? I think this is already, like, I don't know. Go ahead, Sean, talk.
Well, I mean, it's about destruction and chaos, right? So, I mean, you have all these warring factions, on the like boots on the ground sort of level, the useless idiot troops, and that goes for both Antifa and your stereotypical megas that are clashing on the streets, because that's expected to happen. Like the CIA or the three-letter organization would have no issue with paying both sides to get the chaos going up, and then they know where all these people are. Their cell phones are tracked, so when their purpose is served, they're going to be sort of disposed of. The people that keep getting bailed out of jail and stuff with gun possession and all that.
John's Guitar Bar put up a really important comment that they want to make residential property commercial if you work from home. So once your property becomes commercial, then you start paying commercial taxes, and that's what they want to do. And that is detrifying. That is destruction.
Well, that's what we are, like, the population of the world is the new enemy. We're the enemy of the people. Like, the people are the enemy of themselves. Like, you're your own worst enemy. Mm-hmm. You're the terrorists for doing something for yourself. Essentially, it's going to be, if you're lucky enough to make it through all of this, because this is just the beginning. All these tactics to insert communism. I mean, this has gone on. The seeds have been sown since the 60s. Mm-hmm. Where they sell the birth control pill as this great independent thing that's great for women and empowering. And
could we go back 100 years, if that's okay?
Yeah.
In the late 1800s, they tried to sell global warming to farmers and climate change to farmers in the 1880s, and that got turned down. They were actually promoting in the newspapers and whatever way they had to discuss with each other back in the day. They didn't have social media. They tried to do this whole global warming thing back in the late 1800s, believe it or not, and it fell through.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have people like Thomas Malthus or like the eugenicist societies have been around for a very, very long time. I mean, even since the days of, the British Empire and their reign. Even before that, these are very ancient ideas. It's nature worship. So it's just all rebranded as it's all rebranded as new. And this is why the elites and stuff, they go to the CERN ceremony and watch all this seemingly hokey abstract stuff, because to the untrained person, to the person that isn't aware of the occult and what the symbolism is, just seems like a kind of weirdo thing that elites like. But it's nothing. They don't take it seriously. And same with the Goddard Tunnel. They actually believe in this stuff. And the argument can be made, oh, the world is all overpopulated.
No.
But,
I'm not gonna buy that, because I could bet you 100-1, Sean, right now. I could bet 100-1 we could fit the entire Earth's population in Cuba. I really think we could.
And we haven't even penetrated the Earth's crust, so this whole resources thing is ridiculous to me. But the thing is, they believe this stuff. And they get your kids to believe it. Like your parents, my parents' generation, there was a degree of propaganda. Their parents, they're all in this direction. The very institution, like even Elvis, they used to call him Elvis the Pelvis. He was brought into stardom. He was crafted. He was made by these uber rich elitist people. Same with like Nirvana, same with even Jethro Tull or Frank Zappa. These even Albert Einstein. These people were risen up. They were given the fame, if you will, like the superstar makers. Right? Because the people that have the money, they don't want to be, in the spotlight. The real trillionaires, the real people with all the money, more than Musk and Bezos, they're not public. Like Bezos and Bill Gates, etc., are public. They're
Right.
publicly billionaires. Right? But who runs the IMF? And this is the thing: people are distracted. They're distracted by political division, racial division, and whatnot, even right down to the masks. And they're not focusing on the real enemy, which is the IMF and the politicians that sold us out, that were bought and paid for, or blackmailed, or bribed, and that's pretty much every politician out there. You look at Boris Johnson. I mean, Labor would be proud, wouldn't they? And same with even like with Trump, and he's got Mike Pompeo. He's the former director of the CIA, right? Well, like that is the deep state. So all this is scripted. It's scripted for the maximum amount of chaos. I mean, I remember talking to you last time saying my prediction would be Trump would win while reserving the the possibility of unprecedented voter fraud, which that's happening. And I think he has a lot more avenues. Basically, I think it's a matter of just shaving off all the invalid votes. I mean, you get absentee votes. The ballots come in. All the information's on the envelope. It's not even on the ballot. You got a blank ballot in some counties. So there's going to be legal battles. I mean, this is designed for the most maximum amount of chaos possible.
Yep.
because people on the hard left won't accept it. But not only will they not accept it, they won't even accept Biden. They're smashing Biden windows and stuff too, because even people like AOC isn't enough.
You mean occasional cortex?
Yeah, that is not extreme enough for these lost children, I would say, because I think we all we all kind of let it slip under the radar with the the feminism thing that also was instituted to divide and drive a wedge, and further slowly but surely rip apart the fabric of society. I mean, it's getting to the point where we're not supposed to have a value on human life anymore. We're being trained to desensitize ourselves and turn against each other. And I mean, the very state of this SJW culture reinforces all the negative things that if you were in, dialectical therapy, or if you're going through, like, you're depressed and you're getting, you're seeing a counselor, all the things your counselor would tell you are contradictory to what is inculcated in the minds of students,
Right.
or the youth, right? And that's how you get the 1984 scenario where Winston's, he gets locked up in the Ministry of Love, and his I forgot what his friend's name, but his friend's there, and he's like, oh well, my daughter, I'm so proud of her. She, caught me saying bad things about Big Brother in my sleep, and man, where would I be now, if it wasn't for her, and this is kind of where every generation gets brainwashed to a degree, in incrementally, in order to allow for the progression of what we're going through today, which is a complete reset of our culture, our society, our human contact, the way we have relationships, who we're allowed and not allowed to associate with, because the next step to all this censorship is arresting people outright for wrongthink or trying to organize. This madness propaganda of contradictory information, to the point where if you even quote, like, you could say your little spiel, viewer discretion is advised, but even saying the very verbatim things that these so-called experts say, you're going to get in trouble for, because it's coming.
I know, and that's when things start to roll out and start to, I don't know how to say, things start moving around, and then that's when we start really taking things. So when the switch of this goes off, I don't think so now. Sean, I'm going to let you in on a little secret, okay, Sean? This channel, it's a very unique channel. There's no other channel like this on YouTube. One, because there's not a lot of channels that have 4,500 unique individual videos put up, like, unless they're a news channel or something, right? And I think they've been testing with this channel and suppressing it and moving it. They unlock it for a few days to get 1,000 subscribers, and then they lock it back down. And I've seen this happen from 8,000 to 9,000.
They're calibrating, I think, basically finishing up their algorithm. Like, they the big show, with Zuckerberg or Mr. Yogi, Jack Dorsey. Like they want Section 230 repealed,
right?
Because their algorithms are going to be all ready to go by the time it is repealed. So what that's going to do is it's going to leave these alternate platforms vulnerable to basically going out of business, because they'll be deemed as publishers. Everything will be deemed as publishers.
Well, look what's happening with the news, the mainstream media. Like, I keep telling everybody, look, you want to find a cure for COVID? Cancel your cable. That's it.
Oh yeah, I mean, not just cable, like, the echo chambers too, and they're, I mean, like, now you have Parler. You have a big uptake in Parler, which is just the conservative echo chamber, and they're probably going to be just as censorial and strict as YouTube or whatever alternate platform you decide to go to. But like, this is why I think it was important a year ago or 2 years ago or even 5 years ago to try different platforms and
but BitChute's been deleting channels.
Yeah, I mean, because they're partly centralized too, because they're based in the UK, And apparently, I'm told that the owner, the guy that runs BitChute, is trying to do something about getting his platform located somewhere else that's, ironically more free. You can free say more things than you can in the States or the UK or Canada for that matter. I don't know if that's a possible reason for it, but there's library, there's DLive.
I was thinking about this the other day, Sean. If I end up moving back to the Azores, I'd actually just start up a platform there.
Yeah, I mean
it's in the Azores. It's 400 miles west of Africa, and I don't know if you caught the story I told everybody on Mike in the Night, but I wanted to retell this story. It's kind of important, okay? In the 1960s, the Portuguese dictator Antonio Salazar was visiting the Azores, basically to visit the regime and visit part of the Azores, and to go there and discuss what's happening, what they're going to go forward with, initiatives, and blah, blah, blah. Now, this was pure fascism, right? Antonio Salazar, right? So what the people in the Azores did was they got together and they parked their pickup trucks, their work vehicles, their cars, their taxis. They parked everything on the runway so that his plane couldn't land. So the plane was circling San Miguel Island, and the runway was plugged, so they couldn't land the plane. So then they circled around to Madeira Island, and everybody parked their vehicles on the runway. Then they circled to San Jorge. They went to all the islands, and they realized we can't land our plane on these islands. We have to go back to Portugal, or we have to go to Africa, to Portuguese Africa, and land. And in that time, that's how smart the people were and how on board they were to end fascism in Portugal. You know what I'm saying?
That's the kind of creativity
that is.
But I would say, like, in your, if you guys kind of want, if people want to fight this, just do it. Don't be one of those people like they are, going in on the streets like Antifa and Proud Boys.
Yeah, but
don't
the problem
get involved
is with
in
these
that.
factions. The problem is, Sean, they don't know what they want. They don't know where they're headed, and they don't have any.
They're
demands.
just there to brawl. They're the useful idiots. So if you resist but you're non-violent, they don't know what to do with you. It's when you are violent that they know exactly what to do with you. Now, at some point, that won't work. But it's right now it's really psychological. It's going to get more difficult. Things are going to get more difficult before that rubber band starts, bouncing back the other way. So I'm hoping. Because the elitists want to accomplish a lot with this COVID thing. Like they want to accelerate their goals as much as possible to get set. And how all this process, how this works is it's all step based. So they may have a goal like, Agenda 21, we got to push it up to 2030. But this is all step-based. So they need to proceed step by step in order to move things along. So I think sort of focusing on the steps that they're making and being aware of what's likely going to happen next, which, it will be people getting arrested for wrongthink, propaganda turning against people against you, like vaccine hesitancy, for example. That implies that you're going to take it. You're just hesitant for now, but we're going to get you to take it, kind of thing, rather than say just this vaccine, no way, man. So I wouldn't be taking these things, because ultimately how this is all going to tie in regards to the testing and the vaccinations is if a dictator doesn't like you, then you get tested, your amplification cycles for the PCR tests are going to be cranked up to past 30, like they are in Canada already, which renders the test's false positive rate basically useless. Anything over 25, I believe, 25 cycles. And then you come across somebody that you do like, that's worthy of living, because this is going to be where you're going to have to justify your existence to these panels. It reminds me like of a Twilight Zone episode where this guy goes up into a panel and they say, "Oh, what do you do?" And he's like, "I'm a librarian," and they start laughing at him and they declare him obsolete.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets to choose his fate. And
Choose your own adventure book.
well, yeah. I mean, you choose. Well, you choose how you want to die, and then you get. The guy chose his house, and there's a little bit of twist. I don't know if I'm spoiling freaking Twilight Zone. I mean,
That's
it's a whole
fine.
show.
That's fine.
But it's the I don't
Hello?
know what to say about.
I know. All right, Sean, it's been 30 minutes. We're going to let you go. We're going to have another Mike in the Night this Saturday. We're going to follow up on this anyway, now that the cat's out of the bag and it's been actually publicly seen. Now, I think there shouldn't be any problem with us discussing this, right? So.
Well, I mean, there ought not to, but it's pretty arbitrary basically at this point. But if anybody has any questions for me, maybe for the next time I call in, I'd be more than happy to do what I can to answer these things, because this is a long-term plan. It's a long-term agenda. It wasn't made up yesterday, and I think we all have kind of a lot of catching up to do in order to get up to speed, because they have a plan, and we're kind of, it's blindsided a lot of us, but Mr. Great Dear Leader's ready to
our great
word,
leader, yes.
Yeah, so and by the way, those Dominion machines were also used in a couple provinces in Canada.
Yes.
I don't know.
We will
if they
address
were
them.
federally.
We will address them and discuss them once we start getting more mainstream media exposure on it, or they have to let the cat out of the bag. Once they do that, then we'll go ahead and go full throttle on it and start examining it further.
Oh yeah, and I just wanted to say too, I think Philadelphia, I think those votes, if it goes to the court in Philadelphia, I mean, it really depends on who's paying the judges off more.
Yeah, or who's greasing their palms. That's correct.
Yeah, so I don't think they'll want to deal with it. It'll probably go to SCOTUS, so we'll see.
That's probably what's going to happen. Okay, Sean, you take care. God bless you. We'll have you on the show again, okay?
You too, Mike. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
That was a great 30 minutes with Sean. Somebody's asking me, Nicholas, great guest. Really enjoyed his listening to that dude. We've had him 50 times on the show. It's like his 40th appearance. So go back to old Mike in the Night shows, guys. Let's just do a quick before we go onto a channel plug here.
Building back better means getting support to the most vulnerable while maintaining our momentum on reaching the 2030
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
And the SDGs. Canada is here to listen and to help. This pandemic has provided
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
This is our chance.
All right, guys, let's go to a quick channel plug. You're watching Mike in the Night Special Edition, and I want to thank, I don't know who that is, that sent me a super chat earlier today for $2. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Let's go into a channel plug. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. The channel's going to go into plateau moment now, so we're going to be sitting at 13,000 subscribers for about another 2.5 years, just like we're at 12,000 subscribers for 2.5 years. We'll be at 13,000 subscribers for 2.5 years. I like this. It keeps us together. It keeps us unified. It keeps us alive in the comments. It keeps us, like, they don't care about us. Just throttle him to -5. That's the farming technique in the YouTube algorithm. Farm him to -5. Nothing exists on this guy. That's fantastic. Just leave us alone. Let us do our thing here. So don't forget to subscribe if you like. Don't forget to buy something on Teespring if you want to buy something. Guys, don't forget to fan me on Facebook. I want to be the only guy in the world with over 100,000 fans and not credible human being. And don't forget to send me show tips. I've been receiving a lot of show tips here on Instagram. Instagram is the best place to receive messages because I get notifications. And don't forget to check out our man Art by Dano. He's a really good guy. He's one of us. So if you want to pick up something cool for your kids' room, for your family, for Christmas, there's a lot of cool stuff he's got here. I really recommend you guys. Ooh, is that James Dean? No, it's Marlon Brando. To check this thing out, check it out and see what you guys like here. So that's it for the plug, guys. Mike in the Night, guys. Let's get another. I need the Raven to come on full kook right now. I've been trying to contact the Raven for days now. Something's wrong with his telephone. I don't know what to say. I've been calling him over and over, and he does not answer the phone. So our great leader has a message
accelerate
here.
our pre-pandemic efforts to reimagine economic systems that actually address global challenges like extreme poverty, inequality, and climate change. Building back better means getting support to the most vulnerable while maintaining our momentum on reaching the 2030 agenda.
2030 agenda. Here we go. We got the Raven. Hi, Raven.
Full coop, baby.
Full coop, buddy?
How's it going?
It's going good. So I just want to put a disclaimer out there before the Raven speaks. Dear YouTube reviewer, we would like to let you know that the 2030 agenda now has been addressed by our great leader of Canada. We should be open to discuss and openly discuss this situation in a fair manner that we have here, and we have an assembly that we are discussing this going forward. So please do not delete the channel. YouTube moderator. Okay, go ahead. I just wanted to put that out there, Raven.
Okay, don't swear, don't swear, don't swear, don't swear. Okay, I'm not going to swear.
You can't. They'll terminate me.
Yeah, no, I don't want to swear. What about the leader of the World Economic Forum? How about that clown? Hey, what's his name? Schwab? Carl Schwab?
Yeah, he's all over the place. His pictures are all over the place, and I don't know who elected him, who put him in charge.
So now he's predictive programming that we're going to have a cyber attack that's going to make COVID look like a small disturbance.
That is very dangerous information, because I did pick that up on the wire. I did have someone from Geneva email me last week about that, telling me that they are creating panels. Hear me out. They're creating panels of destructive, viable means to keep people in order.
Yeah.
Unelected panels.
They're saying that they're going to have a cyber attack, and he's right out there saying it. So that's predictive programming. That's event 201 right there. You know. So how much time do we have? Because they're putting that out now. So you know what? They're keeping us confused and agitated. We can't think, man. We are no opponent for them. We are no opponent at all for those guys. They've made our entire health system a bunch of superheroes working the front line in the empty hospitals. I just watched a video. A guy walked in the hospital. He goes, where is everyone?
Well, I spoke to someone that used to work for the ICU in one major hospital here in Canada, and she got laid off, and she was an upper respiratory nurse for the ICU. She's the one that hooks up the ventilators.
Yeah, well, you know what? Our whole lives we watch people get medals pinned on their chest, you know, the silver star, the Purple Heart. You know, you watch that your whole life. Your whole life you watch that. Everybody wants to be a hero. You know, everybody. We watched that our whole life. Those guys fought the front line. They were taking musket balls. Mm-hmm. You know, they're the reason we can walk around free today. They're the reason we used to be able to talk freely. We can't talk freely anymore. But we remember the days when we could have a YouTube channel and say whatever we wanted. You know, remember those days when we could criticize these people without getting censored? Remember those old days when we had freedom? Mm-hmm. Well, anyways, they took all those heroes away. They pretty much squashed Remembrance Day. But our new heroes are the doctors and the nurses and the paramedics and the healthcare aid. Those are the new heroes that are walking around. And guess what? They're fighting in the front line. They're fighting the front line. Those people are heroes. I see them on billboards everywhere I go. Look at the heroes. Congratulations to the frontline heroes. They sacrifice so much. They get to cut in line wherever they go. I was in Home Depot the other day. The guy cuts in front of me, 35-year-old guy. Oh, I'm a paramedic. I get to cut in front. Oh, yeah, that's right. You're a hero. You where's your cape? They gave these people capes. They gave them self-worth. Everything they've done up to their life to now, they have self-worth. They're COVID superheroes. Superheroes. And anybody in their family is going to back their superhero. They've built an army of COVID backers with this and taking away the real heroes, the front line. And, you know, and look at the election, the battleground states. It's all a war. It's a war. Everything's a war. Confusion, wars, everything. These guys, they got something big coming down the pipe. It's coming. Look at what's the Economic Forum say. It's coming, Mike. So
can I throw something in there? The problem we're having is there's too many rural hospitals closing in the United States because of this. So if you live in a small town, let's say Cheyenne, or you live in a small town somewhere, And you got to go to the capital now to get to a hospital now, because a lot of rural hospitals, we're looking at several hundred, have closed since the beginning of January because of this thing. And it's created a lot of gaps in the medical system in the United States right now. This is a major issue, Raven. This is actually a lot bigger of a cookie than we could chew a piece off. We're going to start chewing pieces off of this nice and slowly, right? As our government elected official, our great leader, let the cat out of the bag, report on the 2030, report on this. Before we would get these agendas, we'd look at these PDFs, we'd dissect them. Back in the day, when we dissect these PDFs and we talk about it on a YouTube channel, they're looking at shutting us down because no one's supposed to read those PDFs. Now, our great leader just brought it out. It's out of the bag. It's open for discussion. And that's what I've been waiting for, Raven, so long, so that I could come out and say, you know what? If they ban me or shut us down, it is unscrupulous with very little and weak political morality, because it is unfair and it's Machiavellian, this type of Machiavellian assassination, shutdowns of channels or shutdowns, or, it's unfair because now it's out of the bag. So, Raven, you're very free to discuss what's on the agenda according to Agenda 2030, or he mentioned 2030 and the Great Reset. So tell us, Raven, in your mind, when someone tells you the Great Reset, what's the number one thing that comes to your mind first? The Great Reset, tell us. First thing that comes to mind.
Well, I've watched Christine Lagarde say it. Mm-hmm. I've watched the Economic Forum say it. I watched Trudeau say it there. Actually, that video you just watched, I was just showing my mom that video, and then I caught your show. I was just showing her that video.
See, the reason why we're bringing it up now is because the highest level leader that we have in Canada has brought it out. So it should be open for discussion and open for assembly for us to discuss.
So, Mike, I used to think Trudeau was too stupid to be involved with these people. I used to think that they look at him and go, yeah, he's a moron. Mm-hmm. Maybe some people behind the scenes are the ones that are really running the show. I know that Trudeau's privy to what's going on now. You can tell he came out and said that we're going to have COVID has enabled us an opportunity. You know what? If you can't see these guys were doing this for years.
Calm down.
COVID, you know what?
Hold on. COVID has enabled us an opportunity. Go ahead and unpack that. COVID has enabled us an opportunity. What comes to mind first?
Has enabled us an opportunity to reevaluate our systems.
We get that.
Reevaluate our financial systems, to reevaluate the climate. I'm not a global warmist, but I did tell you guys since last year that they are looking at the climate. They believe that they believe that, and now it's coming out that is one of their major concerns with COVID. But Christine Lagarde said that COVID's a direct relation to climate change. She said that 2 months ago. Mm-hmm. The minute she said that, I knew Biden was going in office because Biden's the Green New Deal, and then I changed my stance on Trump getting elected. But who knows? Now they did mail-in ballots. And we all knew that was to create confusion.
The leftists are pursuing this agenda that you're considered a racist or anti-American if you want to count the fake votes. If you disallow the fake votes.
When you say leftists, what I think of is the people that are brainwashed thinking that they're left or there's a right, or that the people in the higher Biden, Trump, Gates, those people know there's no left and right. They let the morons down at the lower levels fight it out and think that's all just a big illusion. Okay, that's an illusion. Trump and Biden work for the same people. Trump and Biden they're on the same team. Okay, they're on the same team. There is no left and right. People always say that, and I don't see why they don't. And so many educated people in the States are lost in that illusion. They almost let it play out like it's true. But the people above are still pulling those strings, Yeah, I don't.
I know you're worked up with this, but hold on, Raven.
I got 2 car accidents today. Two car accidents.
Were you drunk?
No, I was driving my truck down St. Anne's just in the afternoon. I was driving. Actually, I bought a bunch of gold today. That's what I was doing, going from place to place. I bought about $8,000 in gold today. So, anyways. jewelry. So I'm driving around, and this guy in his blazer, he's got a 1-year-old in a crib in the back seat. He comes in my lane and hits my truck with his mirror. So I honk at him, and we pull over. And I go, buddy, what are you doing, man? Look, you dented my truck. You got a kid in the back seat. Why are you coming into my lane? And he goes, oh, I'm sorry. I said, okay, give me $500. I'll forget about it. He dented my truck. I got a new truck. He dented it. Why should I take the loss? He goes, you take 400? I said, yeah, okay. Bank's right there. Gave me $400. See you later. That was the first guy. And then going downtown tonight, a City of Winnipeg bus comes into my lane and hits my mirror again, hits my mirror with his mirror and breaks the back of my mirror. So I pull over that guy. He's going, oh, it's all your fault. Buddy, you came in my lane. But I just said, whatever. I just said, forget it. I'm leaving. And I left. I didn't say anything to that guy. He was not like, whatever. 2 accidents in one day. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, a little worked up. That's what COVID does to me. I can't concentrate anymore.
It's delusionalizing people.
Oh, man, I'll tell you, like, I started to read a lot more about Jordan Peterson, Carl Jung. I think Supreme probably knows that guy, Carl Jung. There's a villain and a hero in every tale, and there's both inside you. Your persona of who you say you are in the real life, and you walk around, is your persona. So I work at the railway, I walk the dog, I go here, go there. What people see is your persona. But there's a shadow to all of us where we hide those things that we can't show the public. That's Carl Jung, and he teaches you how to come to terms with that shadow and how to communicate with it and become super powerful in your mind by controlling that and elevating you to a different level in life. I started reading that shit. I had no idea how in depth this psychological game these guys are playing with us. It's unbelievable. They had behavioral sciences working on this for a long time. And how can all these people keep that all to themselves? Why did 200 CEOs step down in January last year? How can people keep all this a secret on that level? You know,
it's leaking everywhere. I mean, it's leaking left and right and center, right?
Oh, no, it's not leaking. They're just coming out and saying it now. We're going to have a reset. That's insane. Do you know, what's a reset do? And your cryptos? If you can't see what's going to happen to those, you got time to make money off cryptos. You got some time. But like I always said, you want to know when the crash is coming? They'll flip us into CBDCs. When those central bank digital currencies are ready, up and running, they'll have your crash, and then they'll be floated right in. And if you need money to eat in that, it'll be directly deposited to your account. But you're going to have to take that vaccine for that UBI to get rid of your debt. That vaccine's coming. I read the other day there's a mortality piece to that vaccine that brings back your mortality rate a few years. It starts lowering the mortality rate of humans. What's a male? 82 years in this country. Mm-hmm. It's going to wind it back to 76, and they're going to slowly start to. It's a slow kill switch. You know, it's a control. What we've been living up till today is the Teletubbies. Where we're going tomorrow is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's the difference that we're going to be looking at. It's horrific when you really start to look deep at all this stuff, where they're going to be, the pieces of our freedoms that they're going to start ripping away from us are going to get harder and harder to swallow. And to the point where you're going to be arrested, you're going to be rounded up, you're going to be done, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and you're going to have like that medical fascism forced on you, just like they say. And you're not going to I can't live in that world. I can't. That's not an option. There's no option. There's nothing you're going to say to me, oh, we'll give you $5 million, take it back. There's nothing you're going to say that's going to make me give up my morals and values to make me live in that world.
I spoke to a friend in Sao Paulo that works at a disease control center in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And the problem is he doesn't speak English. He only speaks Portuguese. I wanted to come on mic in the night. He got let go from there. Apparently, quite a few people that did try the vaccine or whatever, quite a few of them passed away the next day.
I'm not taking a vaccine, Mike.
No, but quite a few of them did pass away the next day, right? So, and he was let go because they completely terminated that entire sector and sent everybody home that was in that sector like it never existed.
I'm starting to see about a 50% at work. I'm seeing a 50% we're awake. It was never that before, but I'm starting to really see people that are starting to really, certain little things that pushes them over the edge to where they start to clue in. Right? You know, what's going to happen to pensions? What's going to happen to the value?
Well, that pension, we're going to have a Mike in the Night maybe 3-4 weeks down the road from now when we start to actually see it unfolding. So yeah.
See, I can get fired right now, and I can pull a large piece. If I quit, I get what's on my white slip. But if I get fired, I get like 5 times that. I get a massive, if I have to get fired though, because then they give me the portion they've been putting away for me also. And I think sometimes I should be doing that. I should get fired, take that money, and I can put it into hard assets or something. Because if this thing starts to really unfold, I don't think it's going to. I think the stock market's going. I think the Dow's going to 40,000. I think Bitcoin's going to 100 grand. But I'll tell you, you're going to run out of, they're going to pass a law and they're going to wipe, Bitcoin will become dangerous to them. They want their CBDCs. They want to rule the world. They're not going to start giving the people in your chat room the power of the world with hundreds of millions of dollars of Bitcoin or billions. They want the control. They're letting you play with it just so you can get used to it.
Yeah.
Who do you think created it? I can't believe they think, oh, Satoshi, he created, yeah, okay, all right. That's
okay. Raven, I'm going to let you go. We got Eduardo out east that wants to come on the show, and we haven't spoke to him in a while too. We'll get him on. Come back on Mike in the Night this Saturday.
Yeah, I think I can. I wasn't on since Halloween there.
Yeah, so come back on Saturday if you get a few minutes, and give us an update on what's happening on the ground. Things unfold every hour here, so just keep.
I got into it with the finance minister of Manitoba last week.
You told me you ripped a piece of Velcro off him.
Oh, you know what? I pulled up to the gold buyer store to go and buy some gold. His business is right next door. I look, it says, oh, Scott Fleming. And then I see him. I go, hey, buddy, come here. I start talking to him. I go, like, what the hell's going on? Like, you actually believe what's going on? You're the finance minister of Manitoba. Trudeau just spent as much money in 4 months as 153 years of prime ministers. You're breaking the bank. You're shutting all these businesses down. Like, if my dad goes to the hospital right now, I never see him again. That's it. I can never go and see him ever again. I'm at his house right now visiting my mom and dad. If we have to call an ambulance or something, I never see him again. That's it. That's all for this fake agenda. Yeah. So that's what I got to look forward to, because that day will come.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, I'll let you go.
We'll talk again. You're not going anywhere. We'll talk again next Saturday. This Saturday, sorry.
Sorry for the rant.
That's okay. I love when you go full kook. God bless you, eh?
Hey, all right, kook out.
Bye. That is the Raven. So we got YouTube will Art Terapiha just put up a very important comment here on the chat. Says YouTube will likely phase out the thumbs up and down ratios if people keep downvoting the mainstream media. And that's what's been happening. You go on mainstream media, they disable the comments, they do everything they can humanly possible to make it look like that everybody's on board with this, and they will probably do that. Okay, Eduardo's calling. Yo, Eduardo, what's shaking, brother?
Mikey, what's happening?
Oh no, I gotta get you on full screen here. Hold on. There he is, guys. This is Eduardo. Oh, you look so good, buddy. So, okay, but before you speak, I want to just put a disclaimer out there to the YouTube moderator who's going to review this video that our great leader and highest power in Canada has discussed Agenda 2030 and discussed climate change and all this other stuff in his YouTube speech and mainstream media and Twitter. So please do not hold us or shut down the channel. We're just unpacking what he said. Go ahead, Eduardo.
Mikey, that disclaimer, this is only for entertainment purposes.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, it's all fiction. We're not talking anything. None of this is factual, right?
Yeah,
that's right. As far as YouTube's concerned.
Yeah.
Anyways, these masks are getting pretty popular in the Toronto area. So if they ask me to wear a mask, there you go.
Oh, because they didn't specifically tell you what kind of mask.
Well, it covers my nose, covers my mouth. It's pretty effective.
Yeah, it's very effective. There you are.
Anyways, so I guess you guys caught all the news about Trump and that broke this weekend about was it March 18th, 2018, the executive order where if you're trying to mess with the American election, you're going to get charged for what's it called?
Election meddling.
Yeah. And they're pretty heavy-duty fines, military tribunals, whole bunch of states, laws, corporations, persons,
they could take
you
over
name it.
YouTube, Facebook. They could take over all the social media platforms if they wanted to.
Oh, don't forget CNN, Fox, CNBC, CBC, maybe City TV and CTV2 and Global.
Yeah, well, those are... I don't know why they are allowing... Okay, this is the problem we're having. The government has bailed out 2 weeks ago the Canadian dinosaur media again. Okay, this is the problem we're having, Eduardo, is why doesn't YouTube and other major platforms describe Canadian media as state-run media like they do for other countries or other media sources? Why don't they do that for Canada? Because Canada is state-run owned media. It's government. It's funded by the government of Canada.
True.
So, but why are they like? And then I heard from somebody in the comments that they want to get rid of the dislike and the like ratios because anytime anyone goes on the mainstream media, they always thumb it down.
I would be one of those people, actually.
Yeah, Eduardo thumbing it down.
And doxing, not doxing, but calling them out on their BS and their lies. Doug Ford, again, week 4, has yet to show up and play hockey in front of his own house. Refuses to talk to the protesters. And only one car gave us a finger this week.
The finger?
Well, when they drive by, the neighbors, when they drive by.
Yeah.
At Doug Ford's house when we're playing hockey.
Okay, they give you the finger.
First week, about 4 or 5 cars were stopping and giving us shit. Now it's just one guy gave us a finger. And we're getting a lot of thumbs up now when the neighbors are driving by because they figured out what's going on.
Yeah, that's good. It's creating some sort of, I know what you mean. So it's creating awareness. People are waking up. But I mean, just this whole 2030 agenda, this great reset, I don't even know how to okay, we get it. It's been out there for a long time, but now it's been publicly voiced by the highest leader of cabinet or prime minister in Canada. So now that it's been addressed by the highest leader, now I think we should be able to unpack it and dissect it. But the problem we're having, Eduardo, is that we're getting hit from all over with this. They're going into climate change. They're going into global warming. They're going into, oh, did you drop your cigarette?
No.
They're going into every angle humanly possible. Then you start breaking it down into farming. It breaks down into food, distribution. It breaks down into this. Eduardo, it wouldn't surprise me that if somebody in China that does not like me, where I'm discussing, exposing, they could actually create some sort of thing with Canada to take me away and take me to another country and actually process me as an enemy of the state if they wanted to.
Which state?
Enemy of the Canadian people or something, or the enemy of the Chinese people, or discussing or exposing China's acts. But I don't do it a lot like other channels do. But I'm saying, but I think they may have the right in due time to come and grab me from here and say, well, we have an arrest warrant from China. You have to go and I honestly wholeheartedly believe, Eduardo, they could pull something like this in time.
Mike, that's why they invented freedom pills. I strongly suggest people load their own freedom pill cartridges for their own freedom dispensing machines.
Oh, yes. Yes. I like the way you word it. So any update on protests in out east? Anything going on that we should know?
Saturday we had, I'd say, about approximately 2,000 people at Yonge and Dundas. Woodstock, we had a small one Sunday. The weather was just horrendous, crazy windstorm. And I'd say about 70, 80 people showed up in Woodstock. And about 35, maybe 40 people marched up and down Woodstock. Main drag. It's a little town. You know Woodstock.
I know Woodstock, Ontario. That's going to be the new Toronto in time because everyone's going to move there for affordability.
Well, let's see what happens. A few things I wanted to touch on. This global reset, yeah, it's coming. They're going to try.
Tell
Remember,
us
the
what you
game
think
is
they're going to try.
well, they want to crash the economy, and they're doing a good job of it as far as I'm concerned. So the government is going to be indebted like crazy. I think it's over $1 trillion last time I checked, and that's just the federal debt, not including the provinces' debt. I haven't even heard what the provinces are indebted to. Have you?
No, well, obviously they're indebted to their corporate masters. We know who they are.
But they're not publishing that number.
They're not allowed to. They finally published a number of our GDP dependence on housing is 80%. If you go back to like 1982, it was probably less than 10% our GDP was based off of housing, because interest rates then were 18, 19%. So you can't base an economy off housing then. Now we export houses to the highest bidders, and that's where we lost. And now they finally published this down the 10 years later from 2010 to now, that our economy is heavily dependent, 80% of it, on housing. Now they finally came out, the cat's out of the bag. 80% is a lot of cake, Eduardo.
Well, look what Trump's done. He's brought some manufacturing back to the States. That's helping. And think about it, Canada, we really don't need anything. The only thing we don't have in this country, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, I don't think we have bauxite in Canada.
Probably not, and I think we don't have lithium ion too.
No, we do have lithium.
We do?
Yeah, we got it up in Alberta. It's on the ground.
Are you sure that wasn't sold to China a few months back?
I wouldn't put it past them.
Because I know we sold our biggest gold mine. What the hell are we doing
selling all our resources to foreign countries? What's wrong with us?
Well, that's, again, the government at play. The government's at play, right? So, again, let's go to the Equalat, that Baffin Island, the big gold mine that we had up there, the second or third biggest gold mine in the world. We sold that to China 3 months ago. We sold two of our biggest coal mines. We sold with no Canadian hires. We sold everything. We sold everything off. We're in a position where I don't think we own anything. I think a lot of forestry is being, I don't know what's happening with that. And the last to go, oil went down to non-profitable area. So oil went down so much that it's not even profitable to extract. And then in Alberta, and that's why Alberta is one of the few provinces that is not seeing this housing boom, because it's just very hard to make it in the province of Alberta right now. And I talked to a lot of people from Alberta, and they're telling me it's really tough. So Manitoba's looking to go on a provincial-wide lockdown, from what I've heard. Saskatoon's looking to go for a lockdown for the second wave. It's all over the place right now, and we don't know. Like the Raven said, we're confused. We don't even know if we're tricking or treating or what's happening.
Bottom line: take care of yourself. Store some food.
Yeah.
Fill that freezer. I actually went and bought a second freezer about a month ago.
Did you buy a deep freezer?
Yep. So I got two of them now.
Yeah.
And I'm stocked up. I'm good for I won't starve. I'm good for 6 months.
Yeah.
But people that don't want to listen to me and don't want to store food, I'm going to remember those people, and they're going to starve.
The problem with this, Eduardo, that if there was like some sort of an electronic, EMP, if there's some sort of electronic disturbance that shuts down, let's say, our power, that, like they say, over 50% of people will die in the first month because they have no means of survival.
Well, I've also got stores of fuel, diesel. I got 4 generators. Got solar power. Up in my mom's house, we've got the wood-fired boiler should be happening within about a month.
Ooh, wood-fired boilers are real good, buddy.
Yeah. And these are trees that I just happened to plant about maybe 35 years ago. Mm-hmm. They're little saplings about this tall. Now they're 35-foot ash.
Good for you.
The ash borers killed, so we got to cut them down anyways.
Mm-hmm. So we're going into a dark winter. That someone just commented there. As 07 Lusokan is saying we're going into a dark winter. What's the first thing that comes to mind, Eduardo, when I say dark winter?
No electricity.
Ooh, that's scary, man. That's scary, especially in the winter if you're living north, like places like Canada, Switzerland, Iceland, Denmark, Finland. You're in a heap of trouble.
Yes and no. Depends on what you can survive on, right? Old stock Canadians are going to come out of this just fine.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these people used to do their own stuff. Personally, maybe I'll be getting good money from my homemade wine when the liquor stores are all closed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, homemade wine. Yeah, my dad used to do that a lot. Now, where do you see off-gridding is becoming, and van life is becoming a big thing now? People just can't afford the property tax. I just spoke to a guy from New Hampshire who bought a Sprinter conversion van. He sold this place, just paid off his debt, and he's living in a Sprinter van, and he can't afford to keep his property. He sold his property. So I see van living and stealth van living and off-grid living becoming a bigger thing now.
It will temporarily, but that's going to turn around in about a month, Mike.
What do you mean a month? What do you mean?
Doug Force has come across a bunch of information. There's been land patents granted to, all of the provinces. All of Southern Ontario is on land patents. We didn't have that information. We've found those land patents now. All you got to do is perfect the title on your property to a land patent. And it's got huge implications. Once you perfect the title on your property to a land patent, you now have a allodial title. You own everything from the center of the earth to the outermost reaches of the sky. You get back your timber rights. You get back your mining rights. You get back your water rights. It gets better, Mike. You don't have to pay taxes. No property tax.
But says who?
This has been proven in law, in the court of law many times. It stands up. They're going to keep this quiet because they do not want us to get out. Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, if you want municipal snow plowing, you want garbage pickup, you're going to have to contract with the municipality to get that done. But another thing here that you gain in Canada, once you have a allodial title, you've got land under your feet. Now you can become a sovereign.
Okay.
And that's one of the key things to being a sovereign. You got to have land under your feet.
And that grants you independence.
Well, now you can kind of dabble into the world of common law properly. Like you will no longer be known as Mike Martins, but Mike of the family Martins. Mm-hmm. And lowercase letters, don't use capital letters. And you stand up in court and they address you as a person. Say, don't know who that is. I'm here as a man. And that throws jurisdiction right out the window. They've been saying, these sovereign citizens, which is bullshit. You're either sovereign or you're a citizen. You can't be both. If you're a citizen, you're property of the corporation. And that started from the time you got a birth certificate or the time you became a citizen if you emigrated to Canada. Mm-hmm. So you're a corporate entity, all caps. It's been a weird learning curve for me. It's been a lot of information to pick up over the last year and a half. But if you look into the Mythos Canada, they will be releasing that booklet shortly.
Good. I was going to ask you, Eduardo, if you could write a book about your findings and kind of like illustrate and go through like the whole. I know in your mind, if you search in your mind, you have a beginning, a plot, and an ending and a solution to this problem. And I'm pretty sure if you sat back and just started typing away slowly and adding and subtracting and putting things together in perspective, I would read it. I would actually read it from everything, from the Admiralty, all the stuff you talked about here on the channel. I would read it. You could even PDF it. You could even PDF it so it's free, so people could read it on their phones or tablets and stuff for free. You could just do that and create a PDF, and I could promote that for people to read and get it out there.
Well, this book, they're actually doing it right now to a property in one of Doug Force's friends, lives up in Bancroft, Ontario. He's actually switching his land into allodial title, so they're going through the whole process right now. and that should be completed in another week or so.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's done, he's going to write the whole handbook because he wants to make sure you got a good handbook that you can use, and he'll mention where the traps are and pitfalls, what to do, what not to do, and how to do it. But it's simply a matter of perfecting the title on your property.
Mm-hmm.
If it was on a land patent to begin with.
Okay.
And that's the big if. And most of the populated areas are on land patents, even out west.
Yeah.
So it's a whole bunch of pieces got to line up for everything to fall into place.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once people get sovereign ownership of their own property, you can do what you want on it. You no longer have to abide by the municipal laws of zoning, height restrictions. That's all gone.
Yeah.
It's your land. Now, that doesn't mean you can be filling the place up with garbage. if the place starts to stink, because that's going to bother the neighbor, right?
Right.
So you still got to respect your neighbors.
Right.
Because your neighbor can come after you and say, hey, it never stunk before, now it stinks to high hell, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to take you to court. You can't do that.
Yeah. I understand.
So you still got to respect your neighbors and such.
Well, of course. We're not out there to destroy our neighbors. I mean, we're just out there to live a simple life, lay some roots, have a few kids, and move on in life, right? And die. You know, we're not here to, but.
Okay, now how about all the farmers out in the prairies and that are paying, getting hit with property taxes? They're getting decimated. They didn't have to pay property tax. I bet you they can make a decent living on their land.
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you something, Eduardo. Farms in British Columbia, ever since that farm sold for 100 times over its assessed value. So there was a farm in British Columbia here that was assessed at $74,000. And a Chinese corporation came in and bought it for $9.4 million. And what happened with that, you could look this up after you get off. Just type in BC farm sells 100 times over assessed value. That has brought up the property tax in the area and comparable area to other farms in the area. And they're selling their farms or filing for bankruptcy because they can't afford the property taxes.
Yeah, people still think the government's out to help them, eh?
Yeah.
Not the case. So, how about any hugs over mass protests out in British Columbia?
You know what? There was a couple of people out in BC, like out in Vancouver a few weeks back. Nothing super major, like kind of quiet, you know what I'm saying? BC, you got to remember Vancouver or British Columbia is very, very liberal. It's blue. If they were going to add Canada to the United States, British Columbia would be blue, true blue. It'd be the West Coast, right? And then Toronto, Ontario, bordered to New York would be all blue. If you look at the patterns of blue, Alberta would be red, right? I think Manitoba and Saskatoon would be red. And then Ontario would be blue, would be a blue state. And then
No, I disagree. Totally disagree. The Conservatives won a lot of seats outside of the cities in Toronto. Right outside the 905 was all blue in Ontario, with the exception of a couple ridings around Thunder Bay.
Okay, fair enough. But I just, because the landmass connects to Illinois, it connects to Michigan, and it connects to New York, those are all blue, right? So you would kind of see the pattern of blue like you see from BC, and you see Oregon and Washington State is all blue, right? All right across the coast, right? Except Alaska. Alaska would be obviously red, right? But
I think the tide's going to start to change. They're getting nervous. They see a lot of us YouTubers talking. People are starting to wake up. A lot of people that are wearing masks are not wearing them because they want to or because they believe it's true. It's just because it's the easy thing to do.
Yeah. Today I went to Walmart. I had to get. Where did I go? Yesterday I went to Walmart. I had to get something done. I just put the mask on and just swallowed my pride and said, "Look, I got to get something done. I need to get in there and get something and get back out." You know what I'm saying? It's like, what am I going to do? I'm going to get arrested at the door because, you know what I'm saying? I'm just not going to get in. I'm just not going to get in with these people anymore.
Well, you're making a choice, right, to comply.
Right. And I just don't want to fight with these people because it's a losing argument. So I'm not gonna it's not a well. It's a losing argument because they're obviously going to be right in the end, no matter what. So I'm not going to argue that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't argue with people. Like I got stopped twice at Costco back in, I don't know, March or April. And I literally had a temper tantrum the second time. I said, we went through this last week. I want to talk to I don't want to talk to the manager I don't want to talk to the assistant manager. I don't want to talk to your manager. I want to talk to the manager of the store now.
The district manager.
And they said, well, it'll take a few minutes. I didn't say I was going to wait a few minutes. I just kept raising my voice. I want them here now. I've been shopping here since this Costco opened 2 weeks after it opened. And I've been coming here once a week. I want to talk to them now, not in 10 minutes, now. They said, well, we'll get on the phone. It says, don't, now. And it says, no one's coming in the store until I see the manager here now. I stood my ground, right? And people are saying, why can't we come in? It says, we're waiting for the manager. And at least a dozen people heard me chew the guy out. And he says, well, we're trying to protect your health. I says, no, I want herd immunity. If you've got COVID, give me a kiss because I want it.
Well, anyways, I got some good news. I found a good invention. I found an invention I was going through my house and I found this great invention. These headphones. And I've been using them now when I go out in public and I'm in public spaces and I'm in lineups and I'm hearing people talk about the elections. How people in BC just love Ocasio-Cortez. They think Ocasio-Cortez, they were even talking about erecting a statue for AOC here in British Columbia. For Ocasio-Cortez, from New York. You know what I'm talking about, right? Occasional Cortex. They're thinking about, I just put my headphones on and listen to music. I don't even have time to, they want to erect a statue for her in British Columbia to show what they think they want to show people. And that's scary stuff, man. When they took down the statue of John A. Macdonald, I was choked in Victoria. I was choked when they took that statue down. That guy unified Canada with the railroad, and he cut corners. Yeah, sure. A lot of things happened, but still, I mean, what's the point? Anyways, I don't know.
Well, those who forget their history are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, let them take it. But didn't that statue go to some other town?
Mm-hmm.
Or
it did.
It
It went to somewhere in Nova Scotia, I think.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I know our John A. Macdonald that we have here in at Queen's Park, Antifa painted it pink or red or whatever. A couple guys went to clean it. The cops stopped them from cleaning it. And then they boarded it up a couple days later. It's still been boarded up ever since.
Yeah.
So I think it's time for people to just say, you know what, law? Screw you guys. We're going to do what's right. And that's the other thing. People, you got to remember, the ministers of health, most of them have doctorates. They're not doctors, though. They're shrinks.
Right.
Why would a medical advisor be a shrink and not a medical doctor? Mess with our heads?
Psychologically, yeah.
Well, that's what they're doing. All this COVID-19, they want to get us fighting with each other. The Karens are getting more brazen. I finally got accosted by a Karen Saturday after we were playing hockey at Doug's house. And, I got upset because they locked the washrooms because they upped we're up to a red right now in Toronto. Nothing's really changed as far as I'm concerned.
Right, of course nothing's changed. And you won't see a change. They'll tell you there's a change. And like the other guy somebody commented on one of my videos, they said, "Hey, I cured COVID. I just canceled my cable." That's it. You want to cure COVID? Cancel your cable. Stay off the mainstream media. Done. COVID's cured.
Yep. And today I was having a conversation with a customer of mine, and I'm doing some work on his house. And we had a light, casual conversation about COVID-19. He says, "So what, you don't think it's real?" And let's have a little discussion about this. How many people usually die every year of the influenza or the flu?
In the world, a couple of million.
Yeah, but in Canada, is it 80, 90,000?
About that? No, less than that. Maybe 40.
I thought the numbers were around 70 or 80,000.
Okay, let's say
average.
70, just for argument's sake. Yeah.
And then I said, do you know how many people have died from the flu this year? Is there no? I said 6. 6 people. How do you go from 70 or 80,000 deaths down to 6 all of a sudden?
Yeah, that's a good question.
He said, where are you getting these numbers from? He says, the numbers are on the internet. If you go on the government websites, Google it, you'll find those numbers. They're not hiding it.
Well, Ireland's taking a stand. The nurses are taking a stand in Ireland.
What are they doing there now?
Oh, type in Ireland, Ireland, lockdown, COVID. Just type in Ireland right now, nurses. They're taking a huge stand. They have a panel of all the nurses in the country that have signed on it. And they're saying there's 10,000 people a year that die of cancer in Ireland. And there's 6 people or 16 people that died of COVID in Ireland. So this is becoming a bigger, you know what I'm saying? So like just when you get some time, Eduardo, just type in Ireland or Dublin nurses panel and you'll see what I'm talking about. And you'll be like, holy crap, Ireland, the Fighting Irish are the only ones that are fighting against this. You know what I'm saying? And I've been keeping a close eye on these nurses and what they've been saying.
Well, I'm trying to put together about a dozen really hot models.
Mm-hmm.
Put banners on them. COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
Get them to show up at an event where Trudeau is speaking, or the Minister of Health, or what's that guy, our federal minister, Terry Tam, a.k.a. Teresa Tam.
Okay, yeah, continue.
The lady with the big Adam's apple.
I have no
Minister
idea.
of Health. Our federal Minister of Health.
Okay, continue, yes.
The Chinese operative.
Okay.
Anyways, we got to get these COVID-19 models holding up signs saying the pandemic is over.
Mm-hmm.
So all the people from that created Event 201, they've got their COVID models, but ours will be really hot models.
Mm-hmm.
Let's declare it over, and it's done.
Yeah, well, they can't because they want to flip the script. They want this big global reset, right? If they reopen the economy, people go back to work, things go back to normal. That's a big no-no, especially if they're trying to push for this big reset that our great leader mentioned in a YouTube / video there.
Well, if you go on the Schwab's website there, the World Economic Forum.
Mm-hmm. We did. We checked it out earlier, yes.
Well, did you catch the video where it ends with "You will own nothing and you will be happy"? Or
yeah, I heard it. That's been floating around the mainstream media the last couple of days, and that's what they're headed towards, right?
Couple of days. It's been floating around for a couple months already.
No. But it's been getting strong the last couple of days since Buddy put this tweet out. They're correlating and they're putting 2 and 2 together now.
So how stupid do they really think we are?
I honestly don't know. Like I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm at a point where when I go in public, I have my headphones on. I just can't hear anybody else talking. I can't handle it. I can't handle it.
Mike, your inalienable rights do not end where other people's fear begins.
Mm-hmm.
You understand the concept?
Yes.
Lay that on them next time someone gives you shit or someone looks at you funny.
Buddy, I put the headphones on and I just tell them I don't speak English.
No habla inglés?
No habla inglés. Lo siento. Tu hablas español? If somebody comes out, oh, I speak Spanish. What do you want me to tell them? Oh, I just speak Portuguese. Sorry.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
I got the same thing happen.
Aren't you going to work tomorrow?
Yeah, man, but it's early. It's only like 10:30. Only 10:30, man.
All right. I just, are you working? Is work busy?
This fall has been pretty busy for me, but I got a couple jobs left, and then it's snow plowing, and it's only on call, so
okay,
not a lot going on.
That's good to know. How long have we been talking here? Whoa, 30 minutes. Okay, Eduardo, it's been 30 beautiful minutes together. I'm gonna start wrapping it up because I'm getting tired. It's been 2.5 hours now.
Anything to address in the chat?
Huh?
Is there any comments we need to address in the chat?
Oh, everyone's just going back and forth with, let's see what they're seeing here. Just some just weird stuff going back and forth. It's not anything we've been talking about.
Well, with the Hugs Over Masks people, I've been talking to them, and I really want to ramp it up. Doug Ford won't come out of his house on a Saturday morning. So why? Is he nervous? We're going to take this. I want to take this to other heads of state. I want to really focus in on the health ministers, the city health ministers, John Tory's house. There's talk that people want to go out to Brampton and protest in front of that guy's house. These people work for us.
Right. That's exactly. They're elected officials. They need to serve the public. That's what it is. It's plain and simple. We're not threatening, we're going to go to somebody's house. No, we just want them to know what the deal is. I love the mask, buddy.
You know the story behind this mask?
I very know well the story behind that mask, yes.
Enlighten me a little bit if you could.
It's basically, it was off of a movie originally, V for Vendetta, when basically this mysterious guy, what was his name?
Guy Fawkes?
Well, no. But he was portraying Guy Fawkes, but he was, oh God, what was his name? There was a name that he gave him, like an international name that no one knew who he was. And basically he was debunking the banking system, debunking the government systems, debunking this and debunking that, and creating this thing in France of what was it, a distortion of what the media has been lying to us about. And yes, there's a lot behind the anybody in the comments comment below, what I know the guy's name, it's not that, there was something else he was known as, the unknown or the Mysterio guy. That it's not coming to my mind right now. I don't know why. There's everyone. No one's talking about it here in the comments. Mystery something guy. Anyways, tell us what does it mean to you, Eduardo?
Well, no, I'm just trying to feel out what limited understanding they have about this whole thing.
The Guy
about
Fawkes
this
movement
mask
was just in a movie, basically, in V for Vendetta, basically to create awareness. It's basically like a Fight Club in reverse, right? Have you seen the movie Fight Club?
Is that the one where nobody talks about what happens in Fight Club and they just beat the shit out of each other?
That one's kind of important because they wanted to decentralize and destabilize the credit card companies, the banking systems. And if you watch it right to the end, then you understand what the whole movie was about originally. And it's about decentralizing and taking down the big corporate technocracy.
And that's where we're heading. Right there, Mike. You just nailed it. Technocracy. And it's got like a socialist
Anonymous.
feel to it,
His name was Anonymous. He goes on as Anonymous. Okay, it's Anonymous. So that's what Ian Crossan said. Anonymous. He is known as Anonymous. If you type in Anonymous on YouTube, I'm not sure if the videos are still up, but if you can't find him there, you could type in Anonymous on BitChute and other platforms, and you'll find Anonymous wearing that mask and talking about global instabilities and dissecting the global geopolitical landscape that we're on right now.
Well, more and more people got to start wearing these masks, got to get people interested in it. And they're selling these at the Hugs Over Masks protest on Saturdays.
Hugs Over Masks. That's
a
good way to put it.
And if I got to wear a mask, that's the one I'm going to be wearing.
That's it. And Eduardo, you don't promote violence you promote peace, love, happiness. I know you. You're a kind person. You want people to know that look, we need people to hear us out. We need, here's the masks. Here's a hug. Here's that. This is what it's about, right? This is like brotherhood, right?
Mikey, I'm 57 now. Growing up in Toronto was freaking awesome.
It was. I was awesome. In the tail end of awesomeness in the 80s, and I know what it was like, Eduardo. I know what it was like.
And we didn't get a lot of vaccines. We only got a few. Kids, I think overall were pretty healthy. There's none of this division. The neighborhood where I grew up in, everybody was represented there. I had neighbors that were Italians, Germans, Hungarians. We had Jews from Hungary. Everybody was in that neighborhood. Everybody got along.
Yeah, there was no division. Like in my neighborhood, it was Italians, Greeks, Portuguese, Italians, Greek, Portuguese. I think there was a couple from Brazil. There was a couple of people from everywhere. We were all got along. You know, there was a couple from Nigeria. We were all friends. We had block parties. Everybody was invited. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, and everyone got along. Look where we are today. Now we're getting divided. Now we're getting divided over this stupid masking, bullshit, lies.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And dad could work and support a family of 3 and still have money left over at the end of the week. Show me anyone that can do that now. It can't be done.
No.
Why? Taxes have gone up sky high. The government's milking us. We are the cattle or the sheep. And we got to stand up to this. And people are saying, well, I'm only one person. What can I do? Try to fall asleep when there's a mosquito in the room, Mike.
Yeah.
One little tiny mosquito.
Yep. That how do you say, disturbs that's enough to disturb your balance, your what do you call it, peace and harmony. That's one mosquito is enough to just unbalance you and allow you to throw fists around if needs be.
Yeah, so I got to encourage everyone out there, do something. Please do something, be it having conversations, sending coal to your favorite MP. Oh, by the way, there's a new initiative at the Myth is Canada. If you want to send a lump of coal to your favorite politician, send them an email, send them a $25 e-transfer, and the name and address of the politician, and they will send a lump of coal for Christmas to your favorite politician.
See, this is the ingenuity. This is cool thinking outside the box. Let them know how we feel. But that's a cool way. Okay, fair enough.
Could you imagine Trudeau getting 37 million lumps of coal? Could you imagine that?
No, I can't imagine that. That's too much coal.
What are they going to do with it? How are they going to get rid of it all?
Well, they're going to have to get truckloads of it and ship it to China because they need it there.
Actually, you know what? Let's not send it to Trudeau. We'll send it to everyone but.
Yeah, because he just ship it to China and make money off it.
Yeah. But still, I think the packaging and that, it's so huge. We got to send a signal. It's time to start some civil disobedience. And this is just one more small step. We're going to start ramping it up more and more as it goes. And I encourage people to get involved. We can still do it legally. We still have the right to protest.
We still have the right to unify and create we still have the right of assembly, right? That's why we're here on this channel. We have the right to assembly. And we still have the right our God-given right at birth, right? It's our God-given right. Never mind the governments, never mind everything else. It's a God-given right, period. Full stop.
Well, the thing is with communism and corporatocracy, the state wants to be the new religion.
Exactly.
And they're going to brainwash us how they see fit. Anyways, people, do something, please. If we get the more people that stand up, they're going to have to back down. There's a lot more of us than there's of them.
Of course, there always would be. There always will be, and that's why population control comes into mind and other agendas they're trying to, eugenics and all this other garbage they're trying to do, but yeah.
Oh, so now we're going to get into the male fetus stuff that's in the vaccines, the thimerosal, mercury and all those, aluminum and all the other nasty stuff that goes through the blood-brain barrier.
Damaging, very damaging, especially on younger children.
Yep, and the fact that they've been messing around with viruses and bacteria and genetic engineering and injecting people with re-engineered genes, gene splicing and all that stuff. And I remember reading about this stuff 30 years ago.
Yeah, well, yeah, this was in panels and this was the discussion and all that stuff. I don't want to get too much into vaxing because they'll delete this video if we talk too much about vaxing on this platform. You know how they are, right? Anyways, Eduardo, it's been a great 41 minutes, and I'm going to start wrapping this baby up. I'm tired. It's been a long day. I've been running errands since 7 in the morning, and that's a big deal being up at 7 in the morning for me.
Okay.
Yeah. You take care.
Thanks,
you stay
Mike.
out of trouble. I don't want to hear you messing up, okay?
Whatever I do is legal and lawful.
I understand. I'm just breaking you.
Hey, man.
We'll talk
Thanks.
again
Have a
soon.
good
God
night.
bless you, eh?
Ciao.
Ciao. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is Eduardo. He's been on the show a quadrillion times already. He gives us an update on what's happening in the east coast of Canada, where the protests are, where people are organizing to get their voices heard. I mean, we're just trying to call a spade here. I mean, we're not asking to change water into wine here. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us are tired of tossing salad. And that's where we're at right now. We're just tossing salad, and we're getting tired of it. We need to know what's going on. We need to know, we understand what's happening, right? And we are in a position right now that what do we do now? We're in a position right now where, how do we fix this problem, right? So the Great Flip, the Great Reset, this next Saturday, let me do a quick plug here. Next Saturday on Mike in the Night, we're going to do the Great Reset. Let's put this on real quick again. Oh, I love this video, guys. I'm going to play it like on loop here
for sustainable development and the SDGs.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
To help. This pandemic has provided an opportunity. For a reset.
Who is your daddy
this is our chance
and what does he do?
Our pre-pandemic efforts to reimagine economic systems that actually address global challenges like extreme poverty, inequality, and climate change.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
So that's that, folks. Let's go into, so like, remember, YouTube moderator that's going to be reviewing the video for approval or anything. This is being covered by many mainstream media sources, and it's on YouTube and on other mainstream media sources. So we have our right to unpack this and discuss this. The highest level of government has basically disclosed this to us as citizens, so it should be our right to discuss it and unpack it legally. We are not promoting violence or unlawfulness or engaging in anything against the crown or the king. We're just talking about what's been unpacked. And there it is. Lots of stuff in the news on what's happening, guys. Let's do a last channel. Guys, thanks for joining Mike in the Night tonight. Very special Monday night special. I appreciate you guys coming in on and taking care of business here with us tonight. Hey, we're just talking. We're trying to figure things out. Okay, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. The channel will be going back into a hiatus mode. We're going to stick at, right now, I'm at -3 subscribers for the last 28 days. So we're back on clampdown on YouTube. So it's kind of good. I feel more relieved because I get scared when they unlock the channel and I get like 1,000 subscribers in like 3 days. And it scares the crap out of me because they might open something and say, whoa, this way we're clamped down. We're at 13K. Let's just leave it at that. And just kind of, I wish there was a way where we could just kind of close the channel off in a way. But we're at 13K. We were stuck at 12K for like 2.5 years. So 13K subs now. I'm grateful for that. Guys, don't forget to watch the Great Reset video and everything I just put up. Guys, if you don't mind, don't forget to set your reminders for trends in the housing market this week. And Mike in the Night, the Great Flip. Again, we're going to be talking about the Great Reset here. So here it is, the Great Reset. If you guys want to go ahead and set your reminders for this Mike in the Night, the Great Reset. I really appreciate you guys being there and being part of the discussion. Also, guys, I also have a Teespring account if you guys want to buy a mug and support. Also, guys, don't forget to please follow me on Facebook. I want to be the only guy on the planet that's not a credible person to have 120,000 subscribers. That would be cool. And Instagram. Guys, please go on Instagram, please, and message me show tips on here. If you have any show tips, send them to me on Instagram. I get notifications immediately. And it's better than trying people messaging me on Facebook. And don't forget to check out our friend Art by Dano. And I'm going to give you the link, Art by Dano. He is one of us, and there he is, Art by Dano. Check him out. He's a really cool guy. He's got some really cool prints here, super cheap. I'm going to fill up a shopping cart and buy all kinds of them and put this car up in my son's room. I'm going to put this one up in my store. I'm going to put this other one in my store. I'm going to put one up in my bathroom in my store. I'm going to make it look cool. Art by Dano. Check him out. And, yeah, I appreciate it very much, guys. Mike in the Night, spending your time with Mike Martins. Well, it's going into third hour now. Keep on spurking, Mike. Are you going, what spurking, real word? Go to dictionary.com. Okay, mate, take care. Yes, I'll look that up later. Mitch Madden, my neighbor used to say I look like Ron Jeremy. My wife had a different opinion. Haha. And yeah, everybody's going. Thanks, everybody in the comment section. Craig Cook, Dan Setrov, Lenny Poo, The Raven, Lord Humongous. And I appreciate you guys.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
For coming on and being part of the show tonight. Thanks so much. And if you're just joining us, go ahead and bring it back from the beginning and get a replay out of it. Thanks for watching. God bless. And if you can't, stay safe.